Tonight, the MISL championship will be decided. Last week, the Cleveland Force and Milwaukee Wave gave us a classic until an overtime goal gave the Wave the win. Tonight, Cleveland needs a victory to force a golden goal showdown for the title. From St. Louis, Missouri, the site of Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series between the Cleveland Force and Milwaukee Wave. Along with Bill Clement, I'm Al Pulowski at the Savvis Center, where a champion will be crowned tonight between these two teams. For Cleveland, in order for it to be them, they're going to have to figure out a way, Bill, to stop the man that scored 5 goals in Game 1, Greg Howes.
I'm convinced that if you looked up sure thing in the dictionary, there'd be a tiny picture of Greg Howes there. I mean, he's that dynamic a player. He was unstoppable in last weekend's game. He just has a jet-powered right foot and launches rockets. And if he gets the ball facing the goal out near the top of the arc, maybe you got a problem. So you might say, well, deny him the ball. Well, you got to stop Todd Dusowski first, because he's the best target forward in the game, and he feeds Greg Howes. So he is obviously the man that Cleveland's going to have to try to contain. You ain't going to stop him. You just have to try to contain him.
Well, Greg Howes and Todd Dusowski are going to be difficult to stop, as you said. And the key element for the Cleveland Force in doing that is Jim Larkin.
Well, Jim Larkin's in goal. He's their keeper. And believe it or not, I thought even in letting in 10 goals last weekend, this man, Jim Larkin, did a pretty darn good job. Will he have to do better tonight? Yeah, I really believe he will. He has played both with and against Greg Howes, so he knows all about him. I think Jim Larkin is going to have perhaps the game of his career for Cleveland to win. And our coaches are also wired tonight. That means Omid Namazi of Cleveland is with us. Omid, I'm sure you don't want to hear Greg Howes' name announced for scoring goals as often tonight as last week. What do you got planned for him?
Well, Bill, we know Greg Howes and the quality of player he is. He's the MVP of this league, and he had a huge game in Game 1. We're going to pay a little bit more attention on him with Neil Gilbert being the primary defender on him. Then we'll have to bring help from the weak side and help out.
All right, Coach Omid Namazi giving us the game plan to stop Greg Howes, and we're underway. Game 2 of the MISL Finals. A champion will be crowned here tonight. Right now, Milwaukee with the ball there in white. Todd Dusowski to center. A shot to score. Matt Schmidt, 16 seconds into the match, puts the Wave up 1-0.
Unbelievable start from Milwaukee. Remember, they came out quick in Game 1 last weekend and scored first, and then it was Cleveland that reeled off 5 straight. But Cleveland has to keep this game close. Perfect start. Man, that's Aaron Susi, number 17, that did not have Schmidt tied up. He kind of got lost in behind him. So a perfect start for Keith Tozer and the Milwaukee Wave.
That's the first goal of the series for Schmidt. Now Milwaukee coming again. This is Michael King, the captain. Left-footed shot just high. Neil Gilbert trying to corral the rebound. Poked away by Oliviero. And now Jim Larkin grabs it. Milwaukee wearing the whites. Cleveland in their home blues here this evening.
It was a tough play, Al, for Jim Larkin. I mean, you have to trust the coverage behind you at some point, and it just broke down behind Jim Larkin.
Now Jim Larkin all of a sudden looked and said, where did Matt Schmidt come from? Now Loveless Akkad down in the boards. And we have our first foul of the game. Yep, that's going to be against Loveless, I believe. And we've got a whistle and an injury timeout. Here comes trainer Larry Sales of the Milwaukee Wave to take a look at Loveless Akkad.
We'll go back and take another look at the goal. Here's Todd Dusowski. This is why he is so tough. He puts the sole of his shoe on the ball, turns on the player that's on his back, and then goes for the initial feed. Jim Larkin came really close to getting that on the way by him, but it went up and over him and was deposited with a little tap in for the 1-0 lead.
So Matt Schmidt getting his second goal in 4 playoff games, first of the championship series. And Matt Schmidt, a Yale graduate who pretty good soccer player. Loveless Akkad now getting help from Larry Sales, still down in the corner and checking him out. Let's go down to Holly Roll, who has Matt Schmidt.
Well, Milwaukee wants to be aggressive, but you got to believe that was even quick for you guys. How did you see that goal so early?
Yeah, we worked on this week getting the ball deep right off the kickoff, and Toddy played me a great ball off the boards, and I was just lucky to be with back post.
All right, thanks very much, Matt.
And getting the ball deep is a double bonus when you can get it deep to Todd Dusowski, and that's exactly what Milwaukee did. Now, Loveless Akkad is being helped off. A very, very steady defender for the Milwaukee Wave. They don't want him to go down so early here in this game.
It's going to be big to see if they can get him back. Of course, Keith Tozer talked about him being that tough man-to-man marker, Bill, and without him now, that puts more pressure on the Chris Mormons and the Pat Whites. So here it is.
Did he get stepped on? I think he got his hand stepped on. It was on the near board, so we couldn't see it in real time, but he got his hand stepped on.
Now in front, Neto hit the near post off an entry from John Ball. So Cleveland near knotting it up, but not quite, with a minute gone in the first quarter. 1-0 Milwaukee in game 2. The Wave wins the game outright. They are the MISL champions. If Cleveland wins game 2, immediately following this game, a sudden death golden goal game 3 will be played to determine the champion.
Keith Tozer, head coach of the Milwaukee Wave, told me today that listen, obviously they'd like to get a 10-goal lead, but that most likely will not happen. He said, look, as long as we're close going into the fourth quarter, we know we can win games that way. That's what they did in game 1.
And Noni Martinez with the ball now for Cleveland. In trouble, that's Neto. Some pressure from Fontana, dribbles out of it. Matt Johnson. Now Martinez to reset. Pat White on Neto will seal him off, and that allows Nick Vorberg to pick up the ball.
Really good job by Pat White. They're trying to hit their target man. Neto is one of the target forwards for Cleveland, and a dangerous one.
Now Everton Morera in front. Torres got a foot on it, but could not direct it towards the goal. And a whistle and a foul called against Kit Salanopoulos for pushing Fontana on the rebound. First foul against Cleveland of the night. Quick restart, up and out of play. Schmidt looking for goal number 2 within the first 2 minutes.
Tried to catch him by surprise. Cleveland wasn't organized at all in that play.
So Jim Larkin now with the keeper throw-in with 13:13 to play in the first quarter. 1-0 Milwaukee on a Matt Schmidt goal from Todd Dosowski just 16 seconds into the contest. Let's go down to Holly Rowe now and see how Loveless Aka's doing.
Guys, Loveless Aka got stomped on the chest. He was short of breath, but they think he's okay. They're going to hold him out for a few minutes, let him regroup and check him again, but he will likely return to this game.
And boy, the Wave needs him.
No kidding. I said it was his hand. That would have made it a long way from his heart. Unfortunately, it was his chest, which is really close to the heart.
Now Josh Timbers on a little overlap here. They'll give it back to Robbie Aristodemo. Now Martinez off the side of his foot and out of play.
Gee, that's the second time in a row that Hanoni Martinez has mishandled the ball when it came to him. And he is the quarterback undoubtedly back there on the defender's core of Cleveland. And if he's not controlling the ball well, not much is going to happen when he's out on the floor.
There's a good knock away from Martinez to Sutton, but Milwaukee gets it right back, and now Cleveland again. Sutton with it. Under pressure from House. Good slide tackle by Todd Dosowski. Well, apparently not. Trip called on Todd Dosowski. That'll be his first foul of the match. Milwaukee foul number 17, Todd Dosowski, his first. 1-0 Wave as Chris Hanzor now tries to work in the corner against Hamas. Hamas wins the ball. Joe Hamas, second-year man, gets it out to Todd Dosowski.
Milwaukee doing a great job of denying the ball. I mean, the target forwards for Cleveland are up the floor, and the balls are arriving, but they're getting out-muscled. They can't get established yet.
And a tripping foul call against the Cleveland Force there. It's on Hanoni Martinez. That'll be his first. Kelly Mock, the senior official, with the call. Tim Tima, the other referee on the field tonight for Game 2 of the MISL Championship. Now Todd Dosowski working on Martinez. House. And Martinez cut him off. And Aristodemo kind of able to get it out of trouble. Sutton goes down, drew the hold against Chad Dombrowski for Milwaukee. That's his first foul. Both clubs now with 2 team fouls.
This might be an oversimplification, but it's the #1 offense in the MISL. The Cleveland Force going up against the #1 defense in the Milwaukee Wave. I say it might be an oversimplification because in a 10-9 game that we had last weekend, you wouldn't have known that those 2 numbers were actually, or those 2 rankings were a factor.
Absolutely. Hanzor scored from long range with the left foot. Chris Hanzor, his second goal of the championship series. What a blast to the top shelf.
Unbelievable. The first time Cleveland's been able to get the ball down the floor to one of their target forwards, and they got it to Chris Hanzor. Did he launch a rocket with his left foot? All right, one of the abilities a target forward has to be able to execute, one of the things he has to have is the ability to take the ball with his back to the goal and then turn and fire. When he got the ball, he turned, let it rip with the left, and Nick Vorberg just, that thing was by him before he even moved. And there's the patented celebration move by Chris Hanzor, throwing one of his sweatbands, one of the wristbands into the stands.
Well, Keith Tozer not happy about it. Game tied at 1. Hanzor from Gilbert at 2:48. And we're starting off this one like we had in game one, and almost a goal for Milwaukee. That was Reveal with the shot just wide. And De Palma able to clear as Loveless Aka will track back and get it to Vorberg.
There's good news right there from Milwaukee with Loveless Aka back on the floor.
Deep ball for Giuliano Oliviero. Got a head on it, but Rivas for Cleveland got it ahead to Aaron Susi. Now back to Gary De Palma, and Cleveland will reset. De Palma right around Michael King. Watch his quickness here. De Palma open. And a good slide knock away by Aka as Eller was lurking on the back post.
Boy, did you see that puff of smoke from behind Gary De Palma? Maybe the fastest player in the MISL. 58 in blue.
Now Rivas. Susi. He had the hat trick in game one for Cleveland. Martinez. Around King, and King stuck the knee out for the trip. First personal foul on him. If a player accumulates 4, it's an automatic blue card.
And Cleveland has their quarterback out there for this restart. That, in fact, is number 3, Hanoni Martinez. With his left foot, he just launches lasers. But he's as good a passer as he is a shooter. And that's why he is the ultimate QB on the ball. Here he goes.
For Susi. Bends it up and on a play as Susi puts his hands to his forehead and says, oh, I had the opening there.
You see, Martinez it looks like he's going to approach the ball and strike it like he's shooting. And he pulls out of the shot and transitions in a nanosecond to a pass. Perfectly done.
Rivas and Aristodemo with headers, and Josh Timbers a clear. And that'll be an easy pickup for Nick Vorberg with over 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. 1-1 tie in game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. Al Fontana past Aristodemo, who's called for the trip. And Robbie Aristodemo picks up his first foul, so both clubs with 3 team fouls, no one with more than 1. Hamas to restart to Fontana. Now a knock away by Timbers. Neto collects. Hamas tried to get there, but Neto tapped it ahead to John Ball.
Gosh, have you said John Ball's name yet in this game, Al?
That's the first time.
God, he's number 2 scorer in the MISL and Cleveland's captain.
He definitely needs to be the focal point.
But he's usually so obvious. I mean, I called him the Energizer Bunny last week because he's just got such a high energy level that he plays with. But it's the first time we've even talked about him.
Oh, he gets it back to Rene Rivas. For Neto in the corner against Hamas. And again, Hamas plays it well, but knocked it out of play from his own end. That'll give Cleveland a restart from the top of the arc. First restart opportunity of the night for either side.
Now here's one of the keys for Milwaukee defending here. Martinez is out there, and here he comes. They don't want to break their wall. They got to stay in shape.
Neto from Martinez, and a hand save for Vorberg. Out of play.
Cleveland runs so many players in behind the wall that the tendency very often is to cheat. And as soon as you open up the wall, Martinez is going to make you pay. Milwaukee held the wall. He dished off, and Nick Vorberg got a hand on it.
LSA, it actually hit the side of the boards.
Oh, did it? I thought Vorberg got it too.
Looked that way from up here, but our replay showed that it where the boards and glass meet. So went off Neto last, and Vorberg gets the throw in. The southpaw rolls it out for Chris Moorman. Dabrowski, long ball for Greg House. Gets around Gilbert. And Larkin with the save and found it.
What a turn by Greg House. He's almost as good a target forward as he is a second forward. The target forward's the guy that gets the ball with his back facing the net most of the time and then has to turn. Greg House has an unbelievable turn both ways.
Now Martinez. Ball. Oh, almost a goal off a deflection from Dombrowski off Martinez. Now Hansor. Gilbert. John Ball to bring it back out.
Ref saying, get up, get up. You're not going to get a call on that one.
9:20 to play, first quarter. 1-1 tie. Hands are the intended target. Hamas there to head it back to Nick Vorberg. That allows the keeper to use his hands because it did not come from his teammate's feet.
See what Milwaukee's doing? Nick Vorberg is faking the long throw, and he's really pushing Cleveland back. Then he's distributing with a little roll to one of his defenders, and they're working the ball up the floor that way, or at least trying to.
Now Larkin with pressure from Oliviero. Past Selenopoulos. Dombrowski tried to knock it in, and Selenopoulos knocks it back, and once again Dombrowski retreats to collect. Mormon's ball ahead. Chest trapped away by Johnson. Good pass ahead. Selenopoulos. He had 2 goals last Saturday. Oliviero on the block. Sutton with the collection. And now cleared away by Chris Moorman. It'll take a bounce and stay in as Jim Larkin gets it in his own end. Timbers ahead for Soucy. Wanted to leave for a running Rivas, but King on the interception.
And it's so hard for the Cleveland defenders to find their target when they're under such pressure. And Milwaukee doing an excellent job of pressuring the Cleveland defenders when they have it in their defensive third of the field, and they don't have time to really line up that long ball to the target. And Cleveland naturally wants to try to do the same thing here.
Loveless Sakai gets it ahead to Johnny Torres, the hero for the Wave, with the overtime game winner in Game 1. Alaka. This is for Marrera. The ball skids by the glass to Jim Larkin. Nearing the midway point of the first quarter. Game tied at 1 on goals by Schmidt for Milwaukee and Hanser for Cleveland.
Well, it was a perfect start for the Milwaukee Wave. Just seconds in, they were able to get one by Jim Larkin. But it did not take the Cleveland Force long to come back and tie it, and that's what we've got. 1-1 here in the first quarter.
The most advanced assembly plant in America is now open. A $1.1 billion investment designed to deliver the next generation of Hyundais and thousands of new jobs. It's here that everything we know about quality and reliability will find its way into every car we build, beginning with the totally new 2006 Sonata. A Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Holy cow. It's the classic triple, only at Wendy's. It's better here.
Get a wireless laptop with technology designed for lightweight. Make sure it has Intel Centrino mobile technology built in.
Back here at the Savas Center in St. Louis, Cleveland and Milwaukee determining a champion here tonight. If Cleveland wins Game 2, it'll force a golden goal sudden death Game 3. If Milwaukee wins, they win the series 2-0 and they're the champions.
Oh,
now Martinez
cracked that one, didn't he? I mean, he's dangerous from long range because he's got accuracy combined with the rockets that he launches.
Now the Greg Howes, I didn't think wanted to rub anything there, but that had to hurt a little bit. Now Cleveland's restart will come from inside the Milwaukee zone.
Should point out too that the golden goal overtime Game 3 will happen right after this one. So we will have a champ tonight one way or the other. If Milwaukee wins, they win it outright.
Martinez in front for Eller, but got tangled up with Hamas. And that allowed Nick Vorberg to make the collection and outlet long, but Martinez heads it away to Neto. In traffic. Knocked away by Schmidt, but Aristodemo, a header back to Neto. Wants runners, but there's nobody available. So he'll shoot it, and boy, sent a powerful toe poke on Vorberg.
I asked Omid Namazi, the head coach of the Cleveland Force today, who really had to step up and who could be a factor for him. He said Adato Neto.
King's volley shot just wide. Here's Howes. And now as Martinez cleared it, foul called on King. Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Aaron Soucy is on the Cleveland Force right now, but he was with the St. Louis Steamers earlier this season. He was waived. But guys, I have to say one of the best things that has stayed here with him in St. Louis was this promotional headshot. I think if many of the ladies saw this, they would go for those season tickets. I asked Aaron if he was embarrassed by it. He said, no, I kind of liked it. I thought I looked good. But guys, after he was waived from St. Louis, he said it's reinvigorated his career. He was embarrassed he got waived. He has refocused, and he's having a career year with Cleveland.
Well, and we saw Aaron Soucy perhaps working on his future career as a model, and then just on the field, Cleveland draws a 2-minute penalty. Gary DePalma went down, and Angel Revilla was guilty of the 2-minute foul.
It didn't look like he got much ball. Like none. He got legs and feet.
In 3 postseason games, Cleveland is 2 for 6 on the power play. Last week, they scored both of those power play goals against Milwaukee. And they're on the extra man with Martinez, Aristodemo, Ball, Neto, and Soucy. And score! Redirected in. I'm not sure if Neto got a piece or not. We'll take a look, but Cleveland's up 2-1.
I think it was an own goal off of Loveless Aka. But that is the problem when you're defending against a guy like Martinez that has such just a high-level shot. I mean, so much velocity on it. Here it comes. Watch Aka, number 3 in white. It went off a leg of somebody on the wall, and then Aka reached out. He deflected it with his toe. So an own goal between the legs of Nick Forberg.
So Martinez will get credit for the goal, unassisted on the restart at 8:29. Also a power play goal, and now Cleveland in this championship series has been effective with the extra man 3 out of 4.
I'll tell you what Cleveland's saying right now. It's about time they got an own goal against them. We had 2 against us in that championship game 1 last weekend. Now Milwaukee has 1.
Anzor scored Cleveland's first goal with it here. For Rivas in front, Forberg got a hold of it just as John Ball was coming down hard on him. Now Revillo. The run out. And Revillo down. Foul called on Rene Rivas. And for Rivas, his first foul as the Beard Revillo had an opening with a 3-on-2.
Omid Namazi is screaming like crazy. He wants his guys in the right formation here, and he's screaming 2. And he's got a 2-man wall up right now. John Ball and Chris Hanser.
Here's Howes for Revillo. And Aristodemo heads it out of trouble and out of play. And it'll be a kick-in for the Wave.
That's interesting. Usually when Greg Howes is on the ball, that means that Milwaukee's going to shoot on the restart. That time Greg Howes just dished off. Dusoski very often is on the ball when they want to pass off the restart.
King to King, the quick save by Jim Larkin going to his right. And then cleared away by John Ball on a hop that goes out of play. So the restart will come from in front of the Cleveland bench there. Here's that Jim Larkin save, and boy, his best so far tonight.
Had to be. Michael King at 42 years of age, still 42 years young. Exceptionally dangerous when he is facing the goal. Doesn't have the best turn in the game, but look out when he gets the ball facing the goal.
Aka breaks up the pass. Martinez found De Palma. Tried to leave it for himself, and it goes out of play into the penalty box. And Milwaukee now will restart it. Cleveland up 2-1 with 5.5 to play in the first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm watching way down in the far corner. Neil Gilbert, the man that has been assigned not necessarily to shadow Greg Howes, but to match up against him. And he is one tough, gnarly player. The Argentinian Neil Gilbert for Cleveland. Watch him, number 5 in blue.
Playing the stay-at-home defender right now. Martinez, the attacking defender, with the ball. And he'll give it back to Neil Gilbert. Won the championship last year with Baltimore. Ahead for Soucy. Aka got a foot in the passing lane, and Forberg climbs the ladder to grab it. Oliviero over his head, but King will get there anyway. Now Martinez seals him off and clears it. Soucy brings it down to Selinopoulos.
That was a legal throw by Nick Forberg. Remember, you can't throw the ball over 3 lines. Matter of fact, you can't send it over 3 lines even with your feet.
Gilbert just about to there. Yes, he did. So Soucy thought that he had it trapped in time. No, says Tim Tiemann, Kelly Mock, and now Milwaukee off the 3-line violation. We'll get a restart from the center of Cleveland's yellow line.
As this game wears on, watch for Greg Howes and Todd Dusoski, numbers 9 and 17 in white for the Milwaukee Wave, to play more and more. They can't play 33% of the time. They want way more than that. And that's actually what Keith Tozer wants. 40 to 45% of the game playing time. They want those 2 guys out there.
And the Wave now 0 for 4 after failing on that last restart. And Forberg just sent it out of play here into the near side. There's no glass there, so you'll see more balls go out of play here in this arena. Cleveland with another opportunity from the top of the arc, and they're 1 for 2 on restarts tonight.
Here's Martinez.
Oh, and Neto got the ball in front of Forberg, but couldn't redirect on target. Now Martinez to reset with Jim Larkin. And Neto gets held by Pat White. It's White's first foul.
Good job by Neto checking back to the ball. He is not a big man, but he is stronger than he looks. Little number 15 in blue.
Now Milwaukee will try and counter. This is Ricardinho. Morera pulled down by Rene Rivas, and he's the first Cleveland player to pick up multiple fouls. That's his second. As Everton Morera grabbing his head. He might need some assistance.
He had to have gotten cracked with a shoe on the way down. Left foot, I think, or knee.
And appeared Rivas got him with the knee, and Larry Sales coming out to take a look at him. Next Wednesday afternoon, ESPN2's coverage of UEFA's most prestigious club competition, the UEFA Champions League, concludes with the final match as AC Milan takes on Liverpool FC. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN2 Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern. If you'd like more information, log on to our website at ESPN.com.
Taking care of Everton Morera. Coach Namazi, the Cleveland Force, what do you like so far that you're seeing? We'll try him again. Coach Namazi, you with us?
Yes, I am.
What are you seeing that you're liking so far?
Well, I think after the first, I don't know how many seconds it was that they scored, we got the momentum back by scoring one goal, and so far we have the better of the play. We got to keep it on our side and keep possession and control the pace of the game.
You happy with the job that Neil Gilbert's doing on Greg House so far?
So far, you got to be happy with it. We can't get too caught into that, but he's doing a good job.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Now Morera off with some assistance from Sales, the trainer for the Wave, and now Greg Howes to restart it. Redirects, score! Chad Dombrowski, the rookie, knocks the game at 2.
That was Pinball Wizard at its best, right in front of Jim Larkin. Greg Howes on the restart went to Dusaski, and boy, they had the field spread too. Jim Larkin didn't know where to turn. He had to go to his left and back to his right. Chad Dombrowski was a game time decision to even play game one. Same here, but watch Howes. He wants his right foot. He drifted one over in the corner. Todd Dusaski just one-touched it over to Dombrowski and roofed it again. You notice that Jim Larkin is going to be sitting on his rear end here. See how he goes backwards? The Milwaukee Wave absolutely know that, and in close, they're always going to go upstairs on Larkin because they feel that he's leaning backwards and giving away the top of his net. Watch what happens here. When it went over, Jim Larkin went over, but he drops back. He ends up on his back a lot, and Milwaukee will fill the top of the net, given the opportunity, every chance in front of Jim Larkin.
And Chad Dombrowski did just that with that shot. And we talked about how important Greg Howes is to stop him. So far, Cleveland has done that, but Matt Schmidt and Chad Dombrowski have scored the goals. Now Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, that was a lucky accident that Chad Dombrowski was able to score that goal. Right before that possession, Loveless Akal was supposed to run onto the field. Keith Tozer was on his back saying, Loveless, you're supposed to be out there. Why is Dombrowski out there? Before they could settle the argument, Dombrowski scored. It's a lucky accident for the Milwaukee Wave.
A little bit of Wally Pipp there for Loveless Akal.
The message is, Loveless, never listen to your coach again. And don't tell Keith Tozer that we said that.
Todd Dusaski picks up the assist. 11:02 the time of the goal of the first quarter. And for Todd Dusaski now, 8 assists in less than 5 quarters of championship soccer.
What a brilliant one-touch, that pass over to Dombrowski. I mean, Todd Dusaski, remember 6 assists he had last weekend in game 1.
And he has the assist on both the Milwaukee goals early tonight.
And it's really a double-barreled proposition or challenge for Cleveland, because not only do they have to stop Greg Howes, but they have to deny Todd Dusaski the ball. When Dusaski has the ball, let's face it, he is dangerous every time he gets the ball. And when he gets that sole of his shoe on the ball, look out, you ain't getting it from him.
Alan Todd Dusaski with another fine pass early tonight. Last foul there came against Cleveland's Neil Gilbert. That's his first for tripping Greg Howes. And now Greg Howes with a restart opportunity here. And Dusaski in front, just wide. Wanted the hold against Gilbert, won't get it. Larkin comes up firing for De Palma against Ravillo. Now Martinez with space. And blocked out of the penalty area by Loveless Akal.
He had a day and a half to tee up the left foot. Remember, number 3 for Cleveland, Martinez, has one of the most dynamic shots in the game, but it's left-footed shot. His right, not very effective, and Milwaukee knows that. They do not want to give him his left.
Alan Eller trying for Chris Hanser, but Loveless Akal there in plenty of time, but now in trouble. Got it out though. Gets Selenopoulos to take it back for the Force. Less than 3 minutes now to play in the first quarter. Game tied at 2. Selenopoulos can't get it past King, so he'll go back to Jim Larkin. Stolen King! Score! Jim Larkin with the miscue. Michael King capitalizes. Wave up 3-2.
Oh my. The keeper's nightmare. Right there. Jim Larkin's feet are better than this. Mind you, he didn't have anybody really open up for him. Jim Larkin was looking for somebody to open up, and Michael King read it. Jim Larkin needed to play this to space. He was trying to play it to the feet of one of his defenders, and Michael King read it all the way.
Now there's where that experience comes in. Michael King, 18 years of indoor soccer. He's got a good idea where those passes are going. Now John Ball will get a double team, and Chris Moorman will take the ball. But it came to Aristodemo. Banged a shot off of Ricardinho, who's able to clear. Johnson for Ball. Johnson trying to keep it alive. Now Milwaukee's Johnny Torres comes out of there with it and clears it away.
Al, now we have to watch to see if Jim Larkin is shaken. Remember, his #1 priority is stopping balls. Now here he is going with the feet again, and he turned it over. Oh, he gets away with it. Matt Johnson bailed him out.
So Milwaukee coming with pressure against Larkin now, and the Wave knocked that one out of play off the side foot of Chris Moorman.
I'll give Jim Larkin a lot of credit. He didn't shy away from playing the ball with his feet again.
Absolutely. 1 for it.
I mean, a lot of players might have been gun shy.
Rivas with the power shot, and what a save by Nick Vorberg. Now Howes goes down. De Palma put him there, and a card on Gary De Palma. 2 minutes.
Oh, Greg Howes is just brushing off his shoulder there and say, I'm just brushing you off.
And here's that save by Nick Vorberg off a rocket from Rivas.
Nick Vorberg, I thought, made 4 or 5 exceptional saves in game 1. Here's another one. Vorberg knows he's got to stop the stoppable balls and stop maybe 3 or 4 of these a game. And that's virtually all he has to do, because his team, is, other than that, is so good defensively in front of him. But now here's a chance for Milwaukee to widen their margin. They're up 3-2, and they've got a power play.
2 minutes charging the call on Gary De Palma.
It's a good call. He crawled right up Greg Howes' back.
Absolutely. Chris Moorman, Giuliano Oliviero, who will run the point.
You know what
Greg
happened?
Howes, Michael King, and Todd Dosowski on the field for Milwaukee.
Greg Howes followed De Palma all the way to the penalty box, talking to him right on his back.
Little gamesmanship there. Now Howes trying to get it in for Dosowski, and Timbers. Some nice dribbling, got it ahead to John Ball. Now Cleveland will try and kill some time. And a little 1-2 game with the defenders, and Ball tried to draw a foul but was unsuccessful.
John Ball can score shorthanded.
He's done it twice this year. Now 1:20 to go in the Wave power play, but just a minute left in the first quarter. 3-2 Wave up by 1. Oliviero on the point. He'll shoot. Here's Moorman. Johnson with the block. Howes. Dosowski traps the spinner. Oliviero. Moorman off the glass. Ball with the clear. And it takes a bounce out of play. And that'll give Milwaukee the restart. Just 27 seconds to go in the first quarter. Wave ahead by 1. Here comes Oliviero. Deflected in. Score! Giuliano Oliviero off the Robbie Aristodemo block. Really a tough luck goal for Cleveland. What do you want Aristodemo to do, or Larkin?
This baby had enough drop on it to be the dream of a major league pitcher. You talk about a ball that just had the bottom drop out of it because of the spin that was put on it on the deflection. Watch, it was a good block, and the ball went up and just hooked right down over Jim Larkin. Look at this. That thing's going up into the stands, isn't it?
So Giuliano Oliviero gives Milwaukee a 2-goal lead.
It was like a world-class screwball. The bottom just fell out of it in behind Jim Larkin.
That 2-goal advantage is their largest of the championship series. Oliviero unassisted on the power play at 14:39. 10 seconds left in the quarter now. Oliviero, the indoor soccer veteran. Now De Palma to trigger the Cleveland restart. And his pass intercepted. Torres. He'll run against Martinez. And Martinez knocked it away. Larkin will pick it up. And that will do it for the first quarter here in St. Louis.
Well, the Milwaukee Wave certainly have answered back. A miscue, first of all, by Jim Larkin. 42-year-old Michael King. And then Giuliano Oliviero with a screwball deflection. Milwaukee's in charge right now.
On May 25th, ESPN Deportes will be in Istanbul for live coverage of the UEFA Champions League final when AC Milan takes on Liverpool. Extensive coverage before, during, and after the most important club soccer game in the world. And tonight, tune into ESPN2 at 10 p.m. for a special preview of all ESPN Deportes has to offer. To get ESPN Deportes, call 1-800-DEPORTES.
ESPN Deportes, solo deportes.
Broadband, you're ready to go. Visit Vonage.com or call 1-800-964-4VON. Now available at Best Buy, Circuit City, and Staples.
The hit movies you want to see are playing this week on in-demand pay-per-view.
Worrying about your children is sanity, and being that sane can drive you nuts.
Don't let video store hassles drive you nuts. Order Spanglish on pay-per-view.
You can't stop her. Nobody can stop her.
Once you start her, you won't want to stop her. Order Electra starring Jennifer Garner now. All on In Demand. Rent a movie tonight without leaving home.
Welcome back to the MISL Championship Final. Milwaukee leads it 4-2 over Cleveland. Well, we are joined now by Troy Dusowski, or excuse me, a little bit of a slip there, one of the players on the field. But Troy, you're a new coach at the California Cougars. And tell us a little bit about what it's going to be like to be a coach of an expansion team when you've been a player yourself for over a decade.
Well, first of all, I'm real proud to be joining the MISL. It's going to be a great experience, a new chapter in my life and career. John Thomas and Daryl Petrie are doing an excellent job out in California, Northern California. We're playing in Stockton, right on the waterway in a brand new arena. Who wouldn't want to come and play in California and play professional soccer for a living? It's a great place.
Now, you've been in the MISL for 10 years. You got a championship with Cleveland. Tell us a little bit about how being on the field is going to help you evaluate players that you'll be drafting.
I have a good idea of what type of body and what type of personality makes a good indoor player. I've been around a long time, had a long career, and it's going to be easy for me, I think. I think it's just a matter of keeping the team together and the cohesiveness, and it's going to be a great team.
All right, well, Coach Dyack, thanks for joining us. Troy Dyack, the new coach of the California Cougars for the MISL expansion team.
And they'll start playing next season in the MISL. And Troy Dyack, he won a championship with the Crunch in '94.
I just want to know if Troy's going to wear that cool hat on the bench.
I like that too, didn't you?
Awesome. You look cool. It's way California. No, not.
They've got to put that cowboy hat on him, though.
Love him. He looks good in it.
So the Cleveland Force and Milwaukee Wave in Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. The Wave leading at 4-2 right now.
Yeah, here's the good news for the Cleveland Force. They've kept Greg Howes off the score sheet. He hasn't scored. The bad news is they're down 4-2. And that's a problem because if Greg Howes just, comes alive, then you've got major issues.
And here he is against Gilbert. Now Gilbert able to wrestle the ball from him. Howes heads it back. And his lob shot up and out of play.
Believe me, Greg Howes knows when Neil Gilbert is close to him. Neil Gilbert's the kind of guy that will come up on you, maybe knee you in the thigh, knee you in the back of the leg. He plays a gnarly game, and Greg Howes knows it. And that's one of the things I think that Omid Namazi wants to do, is at least hope that Neil Gilbert can get in Greg Howes' head a little bit so that Howes doesn't play his natural game, because you've got to know where Neil Gilbert is all the time.
Now, you saw how many points he scored when Milwaukee wins and how few he does when they lose. Now Mormon with the long bench shot from the neutral zone. That's out of play. Jim Larkin with the throw-in. 30 seconds into the second quarter. Milwaukee with a 4-2 lead. They've scored the last 3 straight goals. And they have the ball again. Here comes Fontana. with space. And a good block by De Palma. Now Susi can't win the rebound. Todd Dosowski does to Oliviero. And De Palma with the tackle. Here comes Susi on a counter. Now Martinez. John Ball slow developing. Got it in the box, but right to Nick Vorberg.
One thing Milwaukee was happy about, besides winning game one, was that they really took away a lot of Cleveland's bread and butter, which is the counterattack. Cleveland only scored 2 goals on the counterattack in that game one, and their counterattack has not been very effective yet here in game 2.
Chris Moorman with an errant outlet for the Wave. Cleveland with the restart. Timbers for Neto. Against Dombrowski. And Michael King with the steal.
I mentioned earlier about Adato Neto, number 15 in blue for the Cleveland Force. He is the guy that Omid Namazi said, if he has a big game, we will win. He's been kind of quiet so far.
Yeah, he has, Bill, and Cleveland does need him to get going on offense if they intend to get back into this one.
Well, they think, I mean, his coach thinks that he's got the ability to be a Greg Howes in this league. He's only 24. He's maybe the most skilled player, ball mastery-wise and foot skill-wise. There he is. Adato Neto, maybe the most skilled player in the MISL. He needs to bring it on now.
And he was just called for a hold, his first foul. Milwaukee controls with Pat White. 1 touch ahead for Johnny Torres. Josh Timbers with a nice steal for the Force. He'll counter. Neto tried to leave it for Rivas. Pinballed around and it winds up at the toe of Robbie Aristodemo. Now Neto. Against Dombrowski. Centering pass taken away by Ricardinho. Torres. Double team. Aristodemo knocks it back to Martinez for Cleveland. Long one. Redirected in. Martinez. His second goal of the match. And Cleveland's back to within 1. 4-3. Milwaukee has a 3 straight goal string snapped.
Boy, the man is just lethal from almost anywhere on the floor. Anoni Martinez from Mexico City. And the prime rocket launcher from the back end. See, he transitioned to his left. Given that much time, he is going to be dangerous. Milwaukee did not give him that much time in game 1, but he had it on that one. Did that go off of Neto, maybe?
Well, right now they've got Martinez from Neto. That's impossible. We'll get you official confirmation on that. I think Neto did redirect that goal.
That's why you have to take away Martinez's bread and butter, that big left, even from outside the yellow line. He is that dangerous with his shot.
And now it is official. Neto from Martinez at 2:13 of the second quarter. And it's 4-3 Milwaukee. Now Cleveland had an opportunity for Gilbert, but Milwaukee steals. Here comes Schmidt on the run out. Slowed up.
Boy, they
lost the ball. Martinez has it.
Doubled him off well right there. As soon as the player faces the wall in the offensive end, he'll get doubled immediately. And Cleveland did a good job there.
Hanzor trying to get it from Aka or Ravillo, and now Aka says the heck with it. Let's get it back to Vorberg. And a foul called on Chris Hanzor for the push. It'll be Hanzor's first.
The ref's actually pushing Chris Hanzor back. Get out of here.
Told him again. Another step, and he took it.
Chris Hanzor from Toronto looked like he was playing hockey goalie there. Threw his left foot up.
Now a funny bounce, but it'll come to Nick Vorberg with over 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. 4-3 Milwaukee, but Cleveland will counter. Selinopoulos to Eller. Now the waiver back. Eller will shoot. Just wide. Here's Howes. Fontana. Against Hanzor. For King. And Hanzor will come on the double and can't get it away. Oliviero tried to center for Fontana, and Johnson breaks it up. Now Oliviero through the trip against Alan Eller. Eller's first foul, and now Milwaukee with a dangerous restart opportunity here. 1 for 6 on restart so far tonight.
Here we go.
Score! Oliviero through the wall. His second goal of the night. And once again, the Wave lead it by 2.
What happened there? That wall obviously had big holes in it. And Jim Larkin looked like he was ready to step to his left to play a pass. but give Giuliano Oliviero full credit. He looked, I think he was looking east and shot west too. With his eyes, he was looking to pass.
Well, somehow he found a seam.
See Jim Larkin with his hands like that. I'm sure it was like, guys, I mean, hello? Can we get a wall up here?
Now John Ball trying to run for Cleveland, headed away by Todd Dusosky out of play to break up the break. Nearly 4 minutes gone in the second quarter. Wave back up by 2, 5-3. Well, 8 goals in just over 19 minutes of soccer here tonight. We expect to see plenty more.
Hate it. Just hate it.
Now Aristodemo on the steal. Milwaukee's back though. Aristodemo trying to work it out on his own and drew the push against Revillo.
On those restarts, the Milwaukee Wave, their assistant coach Steve Morris actually calls in from the bench. They have 5 restarts, and he'll call in the number of the restart that he wants. The player on the ball can pull out of it and do what he wants. Now Cleveland, here we got Cleveland coming with their restarts. They script, they have 4 or 5 restarts. There's Steve Morris from Milwaukee. It's Cleveland's restart right now. They script them 1 through 5 before the game starts, and they just go in order. So a little different tactics on the restarts for these teams.
And that'll earn Cleveland another restart, this one from the top of the arc, as Revillo had to punch that out of play. And now the Force 1 for 5 on restarts tonight with another opportunity here. Aristodemo, Rivas, and Martinez all behind the ball. Now to be Martinez. At first he calls timeout, and he'll talk this one over with head coach Omi Namazi and see if they diagram a play, with the Force trailing the Wave 5-3. So we'll take a break. Cleveland Force and Milwaukee Wave. Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. Wave by 2.
You have won $1 million.
Brandon, I am your father.
No, you're not. You just want my money.
Brandon, I am your uncle. Brandon, wait.
Play Choose Your Destiny at BK. Every game piece can win. Star Wars Episode 3 now playing.
Get 12 eggs, 2 6-pack soda, 7 grain bread, 5 lime.
12 eggs, 2 6-pack soda, 7 grain bread, 5 lime, powder butter, 6 of you. Trying to cut down on phone time.
Could you pick me up at 6, please? I want to go with the hot shot. Stay out till 12, please. That please just this once.
Absolutely not. We agreed home by 10:10. It's going to be
10:45.
Do I hear 10?
Give me 10:30.
I'll get it grounded.
Okay, fine. 10 it is.
Is your family wireless plan costing you a fortune? Come to T-Mobile, where families talk free.
Free?
Free.
And now get more whenever minutes than ever. 500 just $49.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
Back here at Savvis Center, Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. Cleveland Force trailing Milwaukee by 2, but with the restart. Martinez got it back, and it's blocked. And it stayed in over there, Aristodemo. Martinez. The long bomb just wide. Todd Dusosky to clear. Howes will run after it. Larkin out. Fontana lobs it in for Howes. Martinez. Good header back
Smart
to Jim Larkin.
Play.
Yep.
He can play it with his hands because it was played back to him on a header ball.
Martinez for Susi. Rivas. Gilbert. Rivas. And Akan knocks it away. De Palma now. Mormon the knockaway. De Palma again. Gilbert right at Vorberg. There goes Torres. A good outlet from Vorberg. Torres with a chance. A good save. Larkin, and again. Here's Thomas. Hard into the boards. Gilbert with the block. Pat White controls now. Over to Ricardinho. This one's picking up just a little bit in intensity. 9:15 to play first half. 5-3 Milwaukee. Now Oliviero as Milwaukee resets. And Larkin can gobble that one up.
Jim Larkin's back. Really good save just a couple of seconds ago. If you just joined us, he made a miscue that cost him a goal in the first quarter.
White tries a long center, but Johnson heads it away. Now Ricardinho, and he'll reset it. Also, an earlier goal that was credited to Neto at 2:13 of this quarter has now been given back to Martinez. So Martinez with 2 goals tonight. Martinez unassisted at the 2:13 mark. Todd Dusoski on the ball.
Bread and butter location for Todd Dusoski. Really dynamite out of the corner.
And Reveal pounds that one out of play.
And target forwards ideally would love to post up just inside the top of the arc in the middle of the floor. But Todd Dusoski, when he gets it down low in the corners, especially that left corner, just about as dangerous and dynamic.
Tim Larkin now to clear it. Dombrowski with the steal. Now Greg Howes. Stolen by Josh Timbers. But in trouble. Got it away to Neto. And it'll come out to Schmidt. Now to Dusoski for Greg Howes. Matt Schmidt. And Todd Dusoski will set it back up once again. Milwaukee in white tonight. Cleveland in blue.
What Milwaukee's doing there, when they bring the ball themselves back out to midfield to the center line, they're just looking to change. Now they just changed. So they got 3 new players up front. A new target forward, a new second forward, and a new midfielder. So they're really good at ball possession. That's the name of Milwaukee's game, ball possession. They probably value ball possession more than any team in the MISL.
Well, especially with the 2-goal advantage, that allows them to do just about whatever they want, as Vorberg just got it away from a sliding Aristodemo. Now Neto with the steal. Finds Zeller. And that's blocked by Schmidt. And cleared by Fontana, but out of play. And that will give Cleveland another restart opportunity from the top of the arc.
In case you're wondering about some of the differences between indoor soccer and outdoor, well, much smaller field. 7 times larger the outdoor field is. Outdoor goal is 10 feet wider. 6 players on the field in the MISL. 2-minute power plays. That's a lot like hockey. No offsides in the MISL. Players can receive a ball anywhere.
Martinez on the restart. Ball's bench shot. Never got it off. And Michael King steals. Johnny Torres. Nice work to get it out of trouble. It appeared, but Neto steals the back heel. Against Aka. Boy, great defense by Aka, but Neto got it to ball anyway. And then Mormon clears. Now Morera. With Dombrowski. And Susi able to poke it away. Here's ball. A good feed from Gilbert. To Palma. Chris Hansor. And Oliviero, nice steal, but Hansor right back. Gilbert. And Vorberg and Hansor collide, and Vorberg holds on.
Gutsy play by Nick Vorberg. Just dive into shins and get it.
Johnson with a good header for Hansor. Hamas with a nice breakup. Now Hamas. Reveal. It's Morera. Selinopoulos to sweep it out of trouble. Hansor. Now John Ball trying to come forward. Selinopoulos couldn't trap. Reveal can't clear. It's partially deflected and comes out to Rivas. Susi. Rivas. Cleveland unable to find the target right now as Milwaukee hits it back to White, up to Howes, and Greg Howes. And they head to Pat White, and he'll just clear the ball. Less than 5 minutes now to play in the first half. 5-3 Milwaukee.
The one thing Milwaukee wanted to guard against was Cleveland putting up big points, going on runs. And Keith Dozier said, like basketball, when a team goes on a run, gets 16 consecutive points, Cleveland will kill you going on runs and getting 2, 3, maybe even 4 quick goals as they did in game 1. So far, Milwaukee's done a good job of keeping Cleveland from going on any of those runs.
Now Cleveland with it, and Noni Martinez. And went lobbing, trying to find Antonio Sutton did, but now Sutton out to Timbers on a reset. Aristodemo. Martinez for Aristodemo in the corner. And Akab chests it to Nick Vorberg. That's allowed. 4 minutes to play in the first half. Milwaukee by 2. Josh Timbers wins it back for Cleveland. Now Martinez. Neil Gilbert. Fontana blocks the pass. Torres trying to take it. Eller breaks it up. Gilbert has it. Cleveland a little opportunity. And a good hustle play by Fontana to come back and take it from Gilbert and find Torres. Now King on a run, but Martinez back, and the Cleveland Force will once again reset. Winner of tonight's game, if it's Milwaukee, they win the championship series 2-0. If Cleveland wins this game too, a sudden death golden goal overtime will be played to determine the 2005 champion immediately following this one. And Johnson bangs a shot off of Ricardinho. Johnson still working with Hamas in the corner. For Neto. Got a toe on it. And the rebound. Martinez, right foot, kick save. Nick Vorberg. And now Eller got it back to Martinez. Now that's the foot that Milwaukee wants Martinez to use, the right foot, and Vorberg made the save.
I think he surprised everybody. Maybe even himself.
Now Neto.
But I'll guarantee you, if he knocked that one with the left foot, it was in the twine. And there's that much of a difference between Martinez's left and his right. Maybe 40 miles an hour different.
And now Martinez once again will track back to get the ball. Some token pressure from Herrera. Now Larkin. At Johnson. Well, now Milwaukee leaving Jim Larkin. Here's Rivas. He'll take the space. There's plenty of it. Hands or ball. Rivas, great block by Chad Dombrowski to save a goal. Now John Ball out top to Timbers. Hanzor tried the back heel. Dombrowski breaks that up. Vorberg picks it up, and a great defensive shift for Chad Dombrowski.
Gosh, he scored a goal, so he's been an offensive threat. And with that defensive gem, he's on board on both sides of the ball.
Now Revillo. Mormon. Deflected to the corner. Timbers and Oliviero. Timbers clears, but here's Todd Dosowski. Martinez blocks it off a Cleveland player. Out of play. Coming up at halftime, we have a packed halftime show for you. Hope that you stick around as we will talk with Lindsay Kennedy, the first woman to play in the Major Indoor Soccer League. The best of our goalkeepers wired, plus stats and highlights. Make sure you stay tuned. Martinez got it out of trouble with the back heel. Here's Ball. And Akab neatly takes it off his toe with a minute to play in the half. Milwaukee still up 5-3, as now we haven't seen a goal in nearly 11 minutes. Oliviero down, and Robbie Aristodemo guilty of the push, his second foul.
That would be a tackle. But it's a football tackle.
Yeah, the American football sense indeed. No one with more than 2 fouls for either side here with less than a minute to play in the half. So nobody near the 4 that would hit you an automatic blue card. Reveal. Susi takes it. Neil Gilbert. Palma. And nobody in the corner. Vorberg to the collection. 22 seconds to go in the half.
No player in the corner. There was a guy in red over there. He's neutral.
Yeah, can't pass to him. Now Akab with 12 seconds. Going against Rivas and Susi. And we've got a whistle. We'll have a drop ball. So it was tied up there. It'll be Susie and King. Susie for himself. King seals him off. An obstruction called on Michael King. That's his third foul with 7.1 seconds to go in the half. 5-3 Milwaukee in the lead. 7 seconds to go in the half. Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series, along with Bill Clement and Holly Rowe. I'm Al Pulowski. Thanks for joining us here tonight on ESPN2. Cleveland's restart will come with Gary DePalma. On target, Forber knocks it to the side. Susie with 2 seconds. Rivas. And the horn sounds. So the Milwaukee Wave will go to the locker room with a 5-3 advantage over the Cleveland Force, as the Cleveland Force came out with the lead early, but Milwaukee able to get it back. Let's go down to the bench now. Holly Rowe has Milwaukee head coach Keith Tozer.
Coach Tozer, Greg Howes had 5 goals in the first game. They've been marking him here. How do you see getting him a little bit more involved?
Well, I really don't care if Greg gets 0 if we just keep having the lead. I mean, let him go double team him, let him go triple team him. The big thing we've got to do is play better defense. Our forwards are not getting back. We know that Cleveland, when they get down, like to send their defenders out of the back, and that's what they're doing now. Match the work rate, and a little bit more ball possession would help out a lot.
You're a defensive coach, first and foremost. How much do you like it that you've limited the power plays and the restarts?
Well, it's pretty good right now, but, you know, it's only halfway down the track. We've got about another 50 yards to go, so we got to come out, try to score first and the third, win the third, and then build momentum from there.
All right, thanks very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Al, back to you upstairs.
Okay, Holly, so the Milwaukee Wave getting some production from some unsung heroes. Matt Schmidt with the goal there. And then Chad Dabrowski, great defensive play. 5-3 Milwaukee at the half.
When your wireless laptop has technology designed for great battery life, you can do the things you want to do. Make sure it has Intel Centrino mobile technology built in.
I've been kind of nervous about stepping up to the plate for a while now, but when you see a shot, you got to take it, right? You're such a knockout. And I feel like I spend my whole life afraid to strike out. But you know, when you see that bucket, man, and you can take that shot, well, you got to take it. 4th down, 3 seconds on the clock, and I'm swinging for the fences. I think we make a great team.
There's lots of reasons to visit Mattress Mart.
We manufacture King Coil mattresses, including the Jacqueline Smith Home Bedding Collection.
When it came time for me to choose a mattress for my home and for my bedding collection, I chose King Coil. Why? Because it's the best. King Coil has designed a variety of comfort choices, each with superior craftsmanship and value. King Coil. It's my choice for a great night's sleep. Why not make it yours?
Visit Mattress Mart. A better mattress, a better price, a better night's sleep.
Here's big news on term life insurance. Matrix Direct now offers quality coverage from American General Life, one of the nation's strongest and most highly rated insurance companies. American General Life will be there when you need protection most. A 40-year-old man can get a $250,000 policy for less than $13 a month. Call now for your free quote. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation.
Call 1-800-671-8092. Policy not available in the state of New York.
Okay. Hey, can you guys hear me? I don't have anything right now. Welcome back to Savas Center in St. Louis. Halftime of Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. Cleveland Force trailing the Milwaukee Wave 5-3 as the Wave look to sweep the series. Along with Lindsey Kennedy, I'm Al Pulowski. Lindsey Kennedy was the first female player in the Major Indoor Soccer League. And Lindsey, when you joined the club back in February, what did it feel like at that moment?
Oh, it was so exciting for me. I couldn't believe that they had given me the opportunity, but I was ready to be committed and to work as hard as I could to try to earn a spot.
Of course, you had to mix in with your teammates. They're all men. How did that go for you?
It was fine. At first it was difficult, but I stayed strong, and I knew, eventually they're people, and they all have great hearts, so I knew they'd come around eventually, and they did.
Now, you have some experience playing the outdoor game and the indoor game as well. How did you take that experience and able to mix it in here to the Major Indoor Soccer League?
Well, the outdoor and the indoor are two totally different, games, definitely. But I just took the experience that I've known in the past and just, came out here and learned what Daryl taught me and went from there.
Daryl Duran, your head coach, and Lindsay, if you had the opportunity to do it all again, would you do it again?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, look, Daryl's been out here since, the early 80s, of course, I'm just like him. I love the game. And, if they want to give me another chance, I'll be out here.
And what is next for you? Are you coming back with the team next year?
So far, here I am. So, yeah, I can just keep my fingers crossed, keep working, yeah.
All right, Lindsay, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Lindsay Kennedy, St. Louis Steamers' first ever female player in the Major Indoor Soccer League. And here is the MISL, the outlook right now, the current teams in Baltimore, Chicago, Cleveland, Kansas City, Milwaukee, Philly, and St. Louis. And the expansion coming up next year. We talked with Troy Dayak earlier in the broadcast. He'll be the coach of the expansion team in Stockton. They'll be the California Cougars. And the Detroit team coming in 06-07. And then Newark, New Jersey, entering the MISL in 2007-2008. We're at halftime of Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. The Milwaukee Wave with a 5-3 lead over the Cleveland Force right here at Savvis Center.
By the time you see it, it's already there. How unfortunate for you.
If you're a disgusting, damaging, or destructive bug, watch carefully. 'Cause this is the last thing you're ever gonna see. Presenting Ortho Bug Begone Max, the best lawn bug killer ever made. So strong, it kills bugs 3 times longer than the leading competitor. Not just 1 month, but 3 full months guaranteed. Bug Begone Max, lights out for lawn bugs.
The most advanced assembly plant in America is now open. A $1.1 billion investment designed to deliver the next generation of Hyundais and thousands of new jobs. It's here that everything we know about quality and reliability will find its way into every car we build, beginning with the totally new 2006 Sonata. A Hyundai like you've never seen before.
I built this car with my own 2 hands.
Nous avons subi de terribles pertes et remporté des victoires magnifiques.
Hemos ganado muchos amigos, pero aún más enemigos.
多くのライバルに圧勝してきた。負けないよ。
Ecco la mia macchina. Credete di riuscire a batterci?
You are the designer. You are the driver. Forza Motorsport. You are what you race. Rated E for everyone.
There is no urge more powerful than hunger. It will devour you.
There's the Cleveland Force locker room. They're currently trailing the Milwaukee Wave 5-3 and trying to figure out a new strategy here in the third quarter. Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series along with Bill Clement. I'm Al Pulowski, and Bill, it started out early, a lot of scoring like Game 1, and then kind of slowed down towards the end of the second quarter.
But a completely different game from the one last weekend because Greg Howes isn't dismantling the Cleveland Force, so that's the positive for Cleveland. The negative is this: when Milwaukee has a lead, especially a 2-goal lead, Keith Tozer's guys start to look like the best defensive team in the MISL. I'll say this, though. Keith Tozer didn't sound too happy when he was talking to Holly Rowe at the end of the half because he wants his guys to work hard to get 5 people behind the ball. I don't think he's getting that right now.
No, he's not. You're absolutely right, Bill. And right now, let's check the first half highlights out and see how Milwaukee took the lead here.
Didn't take long. What? There were people that weren't even in their seats yet when Matt Schmidt gave Milwaukee a 1-0 lead, but Chris Hanser with a rocket to the top tied it. And then it looked like Cleveland might be able to pull away. An own goal off of a cod. That was the foot of Martinez that sent it towards Nick Forberg. And then Greg Howes to Dusowski, finished off by Dombrowski. A thing of beauty by Todd Dusowski. Yeah, baby, we like it. And then a gaff by goalie Jim Larkin of Cleveland. A gimme for the veteran Michael King. Cleveland didn't really get rattled after that, but Milwaukee just kept coming at them. Another deflected goal that got by Jim Larkin. So we've had some funny goals go in, and Martinez has had more time with the ball on his left foot in this first half than he had in all of Game 1. Finally, a restart by Milwaukee and another goal. 5-3 Milwaukee is what we got, and obviously that's what they want because they're such a good team defensively. When you take a look at the numbers, pretty well guessed that we're in a tight game.
Cleveland up with the one extra shot on goal, but all the other numbers pretty close there. Even the power plays even, 1 for 1. So the Cleveland Force and Milwaukee Wave. Wave leading at 5-3. Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. We'll come back. Can Cleveland come back too? We'll find out.
Dave, it's me, Kim. I'm willing to give our relationship another shot, but we need some quality time together.
Great.
You have to win that trip to the Caribbean, Dave. So don't blow it, honey. It's your only hope. It's your only hope.
Okay.
It's your only hope.
Yeah.
It's your only hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's your only hope.
Play Choose Your Destiny at BK. Every game piece can win. Star Wars Episode 3 now playing.
On May 25th, ESPN Deportes will be in Istanbul for live coverage of the UEFA Champions League final when AC Milan takes on Liverpool. Extensive coverage before, during, and after the most important club soccer game in the world. And tonight, tune into ESPN2 at 10 p.m. for a special preview of all ESPN Deportes has to offer. To get ESPN Deportes, call 1-800-DEPORTES.
ESPN Deportes, solo deportes.
From coast to coast, cops are cracking down on safety belt violations. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live. They'll be on the lookout. Cops write tickets to save lives. If you don't buckle up, expect a ticket. Click it or ticket.
Furniture factories need help. Who do they call? Furniture Liquidators of America. One of the nation's leading bedroom manufacturers must sell their entire inventory of this 5-piece bedroom immediately. While they last, pay just $399 for the entire bedroom. That's $399 for all 5 pieces. Plus, now through Memorial Day, pay no interest for 12 full months. Hurry to Furniture Liquidators of America, where we save you money.
Back here at Savas Center in St. Louis, where the Milwaukee Wave leads the Cleveland Force by a score of 5-3. Game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. Along with Bill Clement, I'm Al Pulowski, and Bill, the goalkeepers always play a key role in indoor soccer, and we have them wired here tonight.
Well, I thought Nick Forberg made a couple of fantastic saves in that first half. Jim Larkin, on the other hand, made a gaffe that actually cost him a goal. Needless to say, they have things to say, and we're here to listen.
Hey, should we stagger? Left! Left, Betty! Left, Betty! Oh. Upwards, up! Up! Hey! Hey! That's some yards, good. Come on, Hill. Come on, buddy, come on. Box! Hey! Hey!
Boys, eh? Keep going here, huh? Come on. I'll make up for that one. I'll keep us in it, eh? Come on, let's go.
Well, undoubtedly, Jim Larkin is a stand-up guy. You just saw him and heard him in the locker room, in the Cleveland locker room, saying, come on, guys, I'll make up for that one. He wants to put up the force field and put up the wall there. Nick Forberg, I think, is right on target. He has stopped all of the stoppable balls and 2 or 3 real hot shots.
Right now, let's go down to Holly Rose. She has Cleveland head coach Omi Namazi.
Coach Namazi, your goalkeeper, obviously feeling like he needs to make up for something. How did he keep his spirits up, and what did you say to him?
Oh, it's not about just him making a mistake. Everybody's got to help him out. I thought on that play our spacing was pretty bad, so it's not just Jimmy making a mistake, it's everybody else not helping him out. We talked about it at halftime. We have to have better movement off the ball, better spacing, so we can find each other and hopefully go forward with the ball.
All right, you're 2 goals down. You say you need to have better spacing, but what else must you do offensively?
Offensively, we got to make sure that we get the ball to our target a little bit quicker. We're too comfortable playing it back to our keeper, and they're stepping up and creating some turnovers in our half. We want to play for the most part in their half, find our targets, get some runs off of them, get some shots on target.
All right, thanks very much, Coach. Let's go back upstairs. Al?
Thanks, Ollie. Well, the Cleveland Force with the Milwaukee Wave here. There's Alan Eller. Force trailing the Wave 5-3 as Cleveland needs to win game 2 to force that
golden goal, sudden death overtime, and if they don't get it done, Milwaukee will sweep the series and win their 4th indoor soccer title.
And what Omid Namazi was talking about, Cleveland plays a direct game. That means they get the ball, they try to take it to goal, get it upfield as quickly as possible, and they want it to go to their target forward. So they don't want to be as patient as Milwaukee is prepared to be. So watch for Cleveland to start launching long balls into the corners. Then it's up to the, listen, part of the qualities, one of the qualities the target forward has to have is the ability to dive into the trenches and the corners along the wall and come up with the ball. So you're, first of all, you're a pit bull. Then you kind of turn into a show dog with your foot skills once you get the ball on your foot.
Well, what does the Milwaukee Wave and the Buffalo Bills have in common? Nothing yet. Milwaukee has lost the last 3 straight championship games. When you take Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, and the MISL, the only team that has ever lost 4 straight championship games was the Buffalo Bills. Milwaukee does not want to become that team tonight.
They would have to technically lose 2 games here tonight to be defeated. They would have to lose this game, which is game 2 of the championship, then the mini overtime golden goal game that would follow if Cleveland won the first game that we're in right now.
And we'd have that immediately following here on ESPN2, so if that comes about, stay right here. But for now, Milwaukee up 5-3. Wave in white, Cleveland in blue here this evening. And this is Alan Eller trying to pass the ball out to Gilbert and Todd Dosowski. On the steal to Greg Howes, but Cleveland with 4 players back. Howes waiting for help. And now Gilbert pokes it away to Loveless Aka. Michael King, and a great block by Rivas as Jim Larkin will collect.
I was afraid that had hit Rivas in the head. Might have gotten him in the shoulder, hit him up high.
Well, he'd have been down too. That was a rocket shot. Now Rene Rivas on the dribble. Tried for Neto. Aka intercepts. And still coming.
Love trains and chugging.
And Rivas with the tackle and too much of Loveless Aka. And Rivas picks up the first foul of the second half against either side.
Rivas just got a body block in here. Love train going. When in doubt, play the body, baby.
And a train it was. Oliviero in front. Rivas the knock away, but out of play. This will give Milwaukee a restart from the top of the arc. And they already have 2 restart goals tonight. They're 2 for 8. And Greg Howes will be the man on the ball.
3-man wall. You got to take away his shot.
And you didn't. Score! Greg Howes, his first goal of the night. And the Wave have doubled up the force, 6-3.
Look out now. Greg Howes may just come alive. Boy, I'll tell you what, you got to be a gutsy guy, first of all, when you're standing in the wall and you know Greg Howes is coming at you. Here's the wall that Cleveland set up. John Ball looked like he turned a little bit, but I don't think that had much to do with it. Jim Larkin had his positioning so far right that he left space between himself and the wall, it looked like.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking because Greg Howes is a right footer, he thought he might hook the ball, but Greg Howes might have put a little reverse on that.
Yeah, he went so far over, he knew which post it was going to, and Howes went inside of where Larkin was going.
But I'm still not sure that he hooked the ball. I'd like to see it one more time. These players can spin it either way. There it is. Now, I think Jim Larkin expected that ball to hook.
Yep.
Like most right footers strike the ball. And Greg Howes put a little screwball on that. It went right.
And that's why he's the league MVP, winning the Hector Marinero Trophy. Now John Ball on a corner kick runs over it. It'll be Neto for Soucy. Score! And Cleveland answers. They're back to within 2.
Boy, that's an important goal for the Force. Not a thing that Nick Forberg could do on it. Aaron Soucy with his clothes on. Little decoy play with John Ball leaving it. And then Neto stepping up, and he just threaded the ball perfectly.
Well, Aaron Soucy, the poster boy when he played for St. Louis, on the billboard with just the soccer ball for his attire. Shows that he can play with his clothes on. Now Oliviero, score! Hat trick, Giuliano Oliviero, 7-4 Milwaukee. We've seen 3 goals in the first minute, 17 seconds of the third quarter.
Oh, a huge turnover by Cleveland. Another mistake. It has been a game of mistakes for the Cleveland Force. And this time, Giuliano Oliviero took advantage of it. Look, pretty decent control. No, not enough. Add insult to injury. He made Jim Larkin on this one, right between the legs.
So Oliviero, the former teammate of Jim Larkin, goes right through the legs, and yet another turnover by Cleveland leads to a Milwaukee goal.
I don't even know if you can call that one an unforced or a forced error. I know the one earlier in the game by Jim Larkin was unforced, but right now Cleveland is shooting themselves in the foot. It's not so much Milwaukee as Cleveland.
Well, Force once again down by 3 to the Wave, who are in control, and Ravillo on the dribble. Wanted Schmidt, but a nice back heel by Sutton to break it up. Now Morera working with House, and a seal off by Martinez allows Jim Larkin to pick it up. Hanser. Joe Hamas, good defensive play as he's played well tonight against Hanser. Now a Wave reset, and again they can play the possession with the 3-goal advantage.
You bet. They're going to kick the ball around. And Keith Tozer told me before the game, he said, sometimes I wish we would just keep the pedal to the metal. I'd like our guys most times just to keep playing the way they are and add to the lead. But there's a tendency to start knocking the ball around and just eat up the clock, but there's a lot of clock left.
Well, 4 players deep there for Hamas, so he brought it out. And now Martinez able to kick it away for Cleveland. Chris Moorman collects for the Wave. Here's Hamas with space, but a tough trap. And Gary DePalma knocks it away to Gilbert. Back for DePalma, now Soucy. Saved it from going out. Rivas. Now Johnson with some room. Soucy. Rivas, a cannon just wide. King past Rivas, but Rivas catches back up. And a good double by Eller took it away. Now Milwaukee's Howes and King had it back. Eller goes down hard. And play on. Here's Howes. Good block by Johnson. Rivas to try and get it out. Dusosky keeps it in, and now a back pass, and now Larkin can't use his hands, but there was no pressure, and he got it back to Selinopoulos. Todd Dusosky with a good steal, and Fontana.
What an effort by Dusosky.
Working with Ball, and a hold called on John Ball. Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, Giuliano Oliviero has got 3 goals tonight. You knew they were going to mark Greg House. How has that opened up your offense?
Housey's been great last game. We knew other guys would have to perform for us to get a result tonight, myself included. Last week I was a little bit injured, and I had a week to heal. I feel really good, and hopefully we can keep this up.
All right, thanks very much.
So Giuliano Oliviero with the hat trick tonight, and Nick Vorberg down in the box off a collision that just happened off an entry pass from Kit Selinopoulos, and a Cleveland player was cutting and ran into Vorberg as they collide. And we have a foul called against Cleveland, I believe, by Kelly Mock. Here comes Larry Sales, the trainer for Milwaukee. This could get interesting. That was John Ball who collided with Vorberg because Milwaukee does not have Dan Green, their backup keeper, dressed. If Vorberg can't continue, Chris Moorman would be the emergency keeper.
And that was Chris Moorman that was just over checking on Vorberg, trying to figure out how close he may be to getting into this game.
Well, here it is.
Ooh, yikes. Nick Vorberg went right, and John Ball looked like he tried to bail out on the play and get out of his way, but it was too late. They just collided, and Nick Vorberg's the right side of his head crashed in to John Ball.
So John Ball over to take a look at him, and Chris Moorman standing right next to John Ball. That would be the emergency keeper if he had to come into the game for Vorberg. Right now, though, we'll take a break. 10:59 to play, third quarter. Milwaukee 7, Cleveland 4.
The Market Feast from Boston Market. Our famous whole rotisserie chicken, 3 large sides, oven-fresh cornbread, and our decadent chocolate molten cake, topped with chocolate icing and filled with a tunnel of fudge. All just $19.99. Boston Market. We're always cooking.
Get a wireless laptop with technology designed for great battery life. Make sure it has Intel Centrino mobile technology built in.
Come on, you can do it. Just 30 seconds of Listerine. Think of all the germs you're killing. Listerine even kills the germs that can cause plaque and gingivitis. See? You can handle it. Germs can't. Listerine. Worth the time, every time.
Honey, I got that dessert you like. And look what else I got. Honey? Kids, relax. It's natural citrus Listerine. It's less intense.
Introducing less intense natural citrus Listerine. You can handle it. Germs can't.
Milwaukee leading game 2 of the MISL Championship 7-4. And you say you want to be an indoor soccer goalie?
Well, Chris Moorman doesn't want to be right now. Big collision between Forberg and John Ball. Forberg is up and appears to be all right, but Chris Moorman, the sigh of relief you may have heard if you're in St. Louis in this area was from Chris Moorman, who in fact does not have to go in for Nick Forberg because Forberg is going to continue.
Well, they were checking his head and his neck, and he's still checking it out. So we'll see if that impacts him here tonight. That foul went against John Ball, his second of the second half. And Milwaukee with it. Todd Dosowski for Greg Howes. Got the shot off and a diving save by Larkin. And then Timbers down low to head it back to Larkin so he can use his hands. Here's Rivas. Ball. Score! John Ball hits it upper 90. And he tested Nick Forberg, who really didn't make a big leap after that one.
Got to tell you something. I know Keith Tozer, the coach of the Milwaukee Wave, really wants his guys to get behind the ball. They didn't get back quickly enough, and John Ball had a lot of time on this play. Rivas to John Ball. Look at the time. See, Greg Howes was still trucking and trying to get back in the play, and Greg Howes was the late man back. That gave John Ball all of this time. And he launched a rocket. Good shot by John Ball.
Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, we're with John Ball, who launched that rocket. John, it's taken you a while to get into your offense. How did you get that look?
I just ran made space for Rene, and then he found me, and I just let Bucks run by, and I had an open shot, and I just happened to bury it.
A few scary moments after the collision with Forberg. What were you saying to him?
I was just telling him I didn't mean it. You know, I love the kid to death, and I just didn't want to hurt him or win this game that way. It's a great goal right there. So,
all right, you guys still have one goal to make up. What's the team feeling right now?
We're feeling real confident right now. We're coming back right now. You can see their spirits are getting down a bit, so we'll be all right. Hey, Madison, I love you, baby.
Hey, what about me? Come on.
It's my daughter. I love her. I love you, Madison.
All right.
Well, and Madison loves John Ball and Gary DePalma, too, because he scored this volley shot here.
Across his body, no less. What a goal.
That is one of the sweet indoor soccer goals you will see, and give the assist to Henoni Martinez. Keith Tozer wants a timeout right now with Cleveland scoring the last two. They're back in it, down by 1. De Palma from Martinez at 4:39, and 15 seconds before that, ball from Rivas at 4:24.
Boy, you wonder about the connection in the great movie that's out. The last of the Star Wars movie is out. You're wondering, what does that have to do with this game? Does it have anything to do with Cleveland? Darn right it does.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic before the Dark Times. Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
They were very much seduced by the dark side in Game 1. The Cleveland Force are named after Darth Vader and Star Wars, feeling the Force. That movie came out in 1977, and they started in 1978 as a team. Guys, they had 31 penalties in Game 1. They had gone over to the dark side, but now they're starting to feel the Force with them, making a comeback here.
And I think Darth Vader is looking for his lightsaber.
Thank you, Luke.
7-6, Wave. 5 minutes into the third quarter. Now Selenopoulos wins the ball for Cleveland up to Susi. 2-on-1 with Rivas. Back and forth. That allowed Milwaukee to get back. Now Akan and Dosowski fall on each other, and they cover the ball up. And you can't do that. And we're going to have a foul on either Akan or Dosowski.
Akaw is actually pleading that he got knocked in the head, and that's why he was down holding his head. Nobody's buying it that's wearing a red jersey. Oh, he did get kicked in the head. You know that?
He could have gotten kicked a lot worse, too.
That's Antonio Sutton mistaking Loveless Akaw's head for the ball.
Once you put it down there, it's free game. And Selenopoulos on the restart, or make it Aristodemo rather, and Vorberg scoops it up. That foul went against Loveless Akaw. That's the first foul against Milwaukee of the second half. 7-6, Wave in the lead, game 2 of the MISL Finals. Championship Series decided here tonight one way or another as Larkin makes a great save. If Milwaukee wins this game, they win it 2-0. If Cleveland wins it, series tied at 1, sudden death, golden goal, overtime will be played right after it here tonight to determine the champion.
We could have 2 overtimes. Right, if this game ends in regulation tied, we'll have an overtime for this game. Here's the save Larkin made. Greg House turned and fired. Good. I don't want to take anything away from the save that Jim Larkin made on this, but I don't think Greg House got all of that. Still good positioning, and he didn't fall backwards so far that he couldn't get back up. Larkin has a tendency to fall back.
And as Vorberg scoops the ball up, you mentioned we could see overtime again, Bill. So far this year, these two teams have played 4 overtime games in 6 matches, 3 in the regular season, and then last week in game 1. Now Michael King. Here's Schmidt. Oliviero back to Schmidt. Oliviero trying to work the 1-2 with Schmidt. Gilbert's able to clear it. Neto and Dombrowski to run after it. And Neto gets tripped, but getting the ball was Chad Dombrowski. So play on, and a good defensive play by the rookie defender.
Boy, we got a great look at Neto's speed on that play.
Here's De Palma. And it hit his teammate Eller, who's trying to find it now with Fontana. Fontana able to clear for the moment. Martinez, who has 3 points tonight for Cleveland, 2 goals and an assist. Now Eller. Score! Alan Eller with the left foot. Cleveland has scored 3 straight. We're tied at 7.
If you want to talk about the force being with the guys in blue, go ahead. Unbelievable comeback here in the second half by Cleveland against the best defensive team in the MISL, the Milwaukee Wave. Super execution by Eller. He turned, was able to launch it with his left. Nick Vorberg looked like he was frozen in his tracks just inside the far post. And this baby's tied, and I'll tell you, Keith Tozer cannot be a happy camper right now, the head coach of the Milwaukee Wave.
Well, Cleveland has scored 3 goals in the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds to knot it at 7. And we've got another dandy shaping up here tonight in Game 2 of the MISL Championship.
You remember at the end of the first half, Keith Tozer told Holly Rowe, he said, I don't care if Greg House scores at all as long as we got a 2-goal lead. They don't now.
And now Hanzor. Moorman will catch up to him. Revilla will help in the penalty area, but here's Ball. And Vorberg made the save as Ball did not get a lot on the shot. You've got to wonder how much is that injury affecting Nick Vorberg when he collided with John Ball just a few moments ago. Akaw long for Revilla. Against Timbers. Timbers bangs it away. Now Larkin can't use his hands. That's why you saw the awkward clear attempt. And Revilla with it. Torres trying to go through Aristodemo, and he slid and knocked it away. Now Akaw. Long shot, just high and wide. Akaw again. And Milwaukee resets with the game tied at 7. Past the midway point of the 3rd quarter. Thomas. For Torres. Fontana. King. Fontana, great save, Larkin! And a header by Timbers for Larkin, who gives an elbow to Torres and says, get out.
Best save of the game by Jim Larkin at the biggest time in the game for his team.
Now this one is heating up. Nick Vorberg for Oliviero, and a back pass to Pat White. A steady veteran defender for the Wave.
When's the last time Milwaukee got the ball to Todd Dusowski? Here he is right now. Haven't seen that in 5 minutes.
Top of the arc, double team. Susie steals. Can he get it out?
Boy, they doubled it. It's hard to double a guy like Dusowski at the top of the arc and get away with it. Good job by Cleveland.
Now Chad Dombrowski for Todd Dusowski. Good spin move. Shot just wide. Todd Dusowski with an incredible turn, and he almost finished. And Omi Namazi's on the bench for the Cleveland Force. Coach, your team scored 3 goals in 2 minutes, 36 seconds. What was the key?
The key is to playing quick. We don't let their defense set. We play quick. We get out of our back. We get 3-on-2s and 2v1s. That's how we scored them.
I think the key was the halftime speech, Coach.
Thanks, Bill. It's another barn burner.
Just the way we like it.
Yep.
Alakar with the steal in midfield for Oliviero. Here's Selenopoulos. He'll counter for Cleveland. Deflected. Sutton couldn't pull the trigger. Now Martinez as Johnson steps on off the bench for Rivas. Neto. And drew the foul against Loveless Aka, his second of the second half.
And a chance for Cleveland to take the lead. See how strong Aka is? I mean, he just thrashes people.
Cleveland on the restart tonight with 2 goals and another! Hanoni Martinez! Score on the deflection! The Force have come all the way back to take the lead as they've scored 4 straight. And Hanoni Martinez has the hat trick.
What about this? 5 goals on their last 8 shots, the Cleveland Force. An unbelievable turnaround. They trailed by 2 at the half. They trailed by 3 twice here in the third quarter, and now they're ahead. Martinez launched that one, and I think he put that off Aka, and I'm not so sure he wasn't aiming for it. He went right between the legs of Loveless Aka and kind of rattled it off his shin guard and in past Nick Forberg. 8-7, Cleveland.
So Martinez a bit quiet in game 1, but not tonight. He has 4 points on 3 goals and 1 assist.
And Milwaukee knows that if they keep giving Cleveland restarts, Martinez is going to be a factor.
Now Eller a back pass to Gilbert under pressure from Todd Dusowski. As these 2 reverse rolls, and Dusowski trying to win the ball, but he managed to force Gilbert to pass it to Howes. Now Hamas from behind. Eller makes the block. Cleared away by Gilbert. And Moorman under heavy pressure from Hanzor knocks it in the boards to himself. A steady veteran play. Now Howes. 2 on 4. Moorman. Montana. And a slide tackle by Aristodemo. Eller clears.
And the fact that Greg Howes, the prolific scorer of the Milwaukee Wave, has really not been an offensive factor in this game, now does become an issue for Milwaukee.
Fontana against De Palma. Dombrowski. Larkin makes the save but can't collect. Rivas diving header to get it away. Off ball and out of play. Milwaukee with the kick-in coming up. 8-7 Cleveland. 3:36 to go in the third quarter. Halftime Milwaukee led it 5-3 and they were up 7-4 in this quarter. Cleveland has scored the last 4 to take the 1-goal advantage. Howes to restart it. Got it back. Great save, Larkin. Timbers to head it out of trouble. Susie can't poke it away. Timbers will try, does, but out of play. And now Jim Tima, the official, says off Todd Dusowski. Cleveland will get the kick in.
Remember what Jim Larkin said at the half? We listened to him in his locker room saying, guys, I'll get that one back for you. I'll stand in for you in the second half. Remember, he coughed one up in the first half, and he made a commitment to his guys to come out here in the second half and to really dig in. And baby, has he dug in.
Now Loveless Aka with the steal. With 3:20 to play in the third quarter. 8-7 Force. Forberg. Matt Schmidt. And now Ricardinho. For Torres. De Palma for Ball. And Schmidt keeps it alive, but Martinez in the corner now against Dasoski. And cleared away by Martinez. Thomas and Hanser. Thomas trying to get by him, and a foul against Chris Hanser. And that will be the first foul against Hanser, fourth on Cleveland as a team here in the second half.
You know, the biggest challenge, I think, from Milwaukee, you take a look at this foul, Chris Hanser, big, strong guy. Biggest challenge for Milwaukee is forgetting how they got to a one-goal game here in the second half. Right, they were up by 3 goals. If they can just play a one-goal game, they're comfortable. But it's hard to forget how they got here, coughing up a 3-goal lead.
Milwaukee will have a restart now. Midfield, Rick Gardino to Schmidt. Quickly for Todd Dasoski. Martinez reads and knocks it away. Dombrowski trying to get it for House. Now Selidopoulos, a bender, but he couldn't get it to stay in. Well, next Saturday afternoon, ESPN's coverage of USA Soccer kicks off as Landon Donovan and the United States national team host England in an international friendly at Soldier Field. USA Soccer on ESPN Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern. For more info, log on to our website, ESPN.com.
We have talked to Omid Namazi often in this game. We haven't talked to Keith Tozer, lest we're accused of being one-sided. Keith Tozer was wired early in the game. Houston, we had a problem.
Wire is gone.
A technical malfunction. And that's why Holly is doing her best to get comments from Keith Tozer when he's available down there.
Aaron Susi to work for Cleveland in the corner against Dombrowski. Gilbert. Thinking about it, then does. Forberg, though, answers.
Stuck it.
Dombrowski for King. Gilbert knocks it away. He says off King, but no, says Kelly Mock. And a kick in coming up for Milwaukee. And could we see a golden goal tonight? Well, this championship could be decided as such if Cleveland holds on to win. That would even the series at 1. That would force a golden goal, sudden death overtime game. And we'll have that for you right here immediately following this game, should that happen, to decide the 2005 MISL champion.
Talk about a ball getting away on you. Was that Chris Mormon?
And Mormon shot it out of play.
Out of play, almost out of the arena.
Omid Namazi and Keith Tozer familiar to championship series. This is the 6th straight for Milwaukee. There's Tozer saying, hey, stay in the game, boys. They faced off in 2002 when Omid Namazi was a player coach for Philadelphia. And they won that series in Milwaukee in Game 3. And Chris Hanser scored the game winner. Now a header out of play by Aka. And that'll give Cleveland a kick in with 1:38 to go in the third quarter. 8-7 Cleveland. Jim Larkin. And Neto. Aka on him tight. And the double with Oliviero. Nets a steal. Here's a cut. Fontana. Against DePalma. Centering pass. King just missed. And Larkin can't use his hands again. A good header out of trouble.
Can't use his hands because it was played back to him off a teammate's foot.
And Michael King draws the boarding foul against Rene Rivas.
Boy, Jim Larkin has just risen to the occasion. A guy that wasn't mentally tough could have really just fallen apart after coughing up, giving away a goal in the first half. And Jim Larkin, after committing to his teammates to dig in, has followed through on the promise. He has been large here in the second half for Cleveland.
That foul on Rivas was his second. So Rivas and Ball with 2 fouls for Cleveland. For Milwaukee, Aka has 2. 1:11 to play, third quarter. 8-7 Cleveland. Milwaukee a restart. They're 3 for 9 on restarts tonight. Thomas. And cleared away. Went to Palma to Eller. And now Forberg for the Wave.
There is 1 minute to play in the quarter.
Fontana will work against Rivas. Ed White, Milwaukee Wave wearing the whites tonight. Cleveland in blue. Fontana. Just wide. Neto and White. And Neto wins it for the moment. Oliviero wins it back. Now White again. Larkin out.
Had
Stopped
to.
the entry from Todd Dusoski. Now Fontana. White, great save, Larkin. As Pat White, a normally stay-at-home defender, found himself on the goal line, but Larkin answered.
What a play, and what a comeback story. Comebacks are usually in careers. This has been a single-game comeback by Jim Larkin.
He's played an outstanding third quarter.
Unbelievable.
Now 8 seconds. It's Pat White. Wanted Oliviero. Rivas heads it away. Hamas back for Oliviero. Johnson breaks it up. And a handball is the call against Matt Johnson with 1.6 seconds to go in the quarter. First foul on Johnson. Jim Larkin now, after that last save, his 11th of the match, his 6th, though, of the third quarter. King banged it off the wall. That time the Cleveland defenders with 4 men held their ground.
Well, this quarter was all about Jim Larkin, the goalkeeper for the Cleveland Force. After a huge gap in the first half, he has had the force field up here and is holding his guys in with his 1-goal lead.
Introduces a fresh take on salads.
We got 3 new salads made to order.
So good. Like our avocado pecan blue, our savory Santa Fe with blackened chicken, and our oriental mandarin with grilled chicken.
Rush right to you.
They're not the salads you'd expect from a fast food restaurant, but they're exactly what you'd expect from Culver's.
Fresh and tasty Culver's salad. Culver's, taste how much we care.
Hey, I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in. Are you?
These riders are all a part of the American Motorcyclist Association. We protect your right to ride, and we power thousands of riding events every year. Join today and you'll get an American Motorcyclist magazine every month, access to our members-only website, a collector's bandana, and your complete new members kit. Are you in? Call or log on today.
Cleveland up 8-7, game 2 of the MISL Championship Series. And how about Jim Larkin in the third quarter?
How about him?
Let's hear the score.
While his guys were busy taking the lead, Jim Larkin was busy protecting it. With his hands, with his feet, even a couple of times with his head. That was the best. The last one with the hand on the dive. Jim Larkin has delivered.
And how even has this game been through 3 quarters? Both keepers with 11 saves, both teams with 24 shots on goal.
Pretty even, right?
Fairly so. There's Jim Larkin, Toronto native who has been streaky throughout his career. And tonight had some trouble in the first half and trouble to begin the third quarter, but the last 10 to 12 minutes just been solid.
The streak is trending in the right direction for the Cleveland Force.
Fourth quarter will begin with the Cleveland Force with the ball.
John Ball for Cleveland, number 13 in blue, has been kind of quiet. Watch for him. And as yet, I don't think Keith Tozer had started really dishing out the playing time to Howes and Dusoski of Milwaukee that he's going to in the fourth. So watch for number 9 and number 17 in white to get the lion's share of the playing time here, especially down a goal.
Neil Gilbert ahead for Martinez as the fourth quarter begins with a score. And Noni Martinez picks up the hat trick with a top shelf shot over Gorberg. 4th goal of the night for Martinez.
And he overpowered Todd Dusoski to do it. Remember the left of Martinez? That's what you want to take away. When he's got it on the ball, when he can get his left foot on the ball, look out. Right from the kickoff there, right from the opening tap. Set play. Martinez made a run, was able to hold off Dusoski, so they sent their defender Martinez up on a run right off the opening tap of the fourth quarter and got a a beautiful goal out of it, and now they have a 2-goal lead.
9-7 Cleveland. Martinez from Gilbert at the 6-second mark of the fourth quarter. Martinez's 4th goal and 5th point of the night. So the Force leading game 2 by 2. Again, should they hold on and win, a sudden death golden goal overtime would be played to determine the MISL champion in 2005. It'll be held immediately after this game 2. That's if Milwaukee doesn't come back, which they are more than capable, especially with that man, Greg Howes. Now Rivas with the steal for ball. Reveal steals it back to Schmidt. And now Jim Larkin will pick it up with a minute gone in the final quarter. Hamas steals to Reveal.
Boy, Jim Larkin looks so confident.
Different player than what we saw in the second quarter. Now De Palma trying to work it in the corner against Fontana. Fontana steals the ball. Now Oliviero. He has a hat trick for Milwaukee tonight. And down goes Fontana, and a trip called against Josh Timbers of Cleveland. And that is Josh Timbers' first personal foul of the second half. Mormon. And now a whistle and a foul against Milwaukee.
Wow, good coverage by Cleveland in front. Great man marking. You got to be Velcro tight on those plays when they bounce it off the end boards out in front.
First foul on Joe Hamas. With 13:16 to play in regulation of game 2 of the MISL championship. 9-7 Force. And Cleveland has scored the last 5 straight goals. They were down 7-4 at the near midway point of the third quarter. Now Larkin with just a clear, and Hamas will take it for the Wave.
Jim Larkin did distribute a little quicker with the foot that time than he did in the second quarter.
King with a chance. Larkin saved. Just enough to redirect. Ricardinho can't hold on. Timbers kicks it away. But Mormon for Milwaukee will go back to King. Timbers again with the knockaway. Larkin with the clear. Anzor will get there. Dombrowski stood his ground. But Martinez winds up with the ball. Here's Gilbert. Aristodemo goes down, and Ricardinho takes the ball. Forberg under pressure. Just got it away. Came to Sutton, and he blasted it up and out of play. And Enoni Martinez, 5 points, a season high in the regular season and postseason tonight.
4 goals, and he got a little help. 3 of them actually deflected in, some off the opposition, some off his own guys. But on a set play to start the fourth quarter, Enoni Martinez scored his 4th goal and gave Cleveland the 2-goal lead they have now. Yeah.
Todd Dusaski double team, lost the ball, but Aka keeps it alive. Reveal. Hand save. Larkin. Reveal again. Blocked by De Palma. Now Reveal will reset it for Aka. Johnson the knockaway.
I think we could hear Jim Larkin calling Rivas and telling him how to play his guy, making sure that he was in the right spot. That was Jim Larkin's voice moments ago.
Now Eller in front for Johnson, knocked away by White. Eller keeps it alive for Cleveland. Now Torres bangs it out of trouble, and Todd Dusaski with some nice footwork.
But nice footwork in his third of the field. You know, they got to get Todd Dusaski up in the offensive third of the field and get the ball to him there.
That's right. He doesn't do you much good if you're Milwaukee in his own end. Now Reveal for Pat White with 4 minutes played in the fourth quarter. 9-7 Cleveland. Michael King. Joe Hamas. Now Greg Howes. And drew the trip. That's on Alan Eller, and that'll be his first. Greg Howes a bit quiet tonight after 5 goals in game 1. 1 goal here tonight.
They've played him so physically, and as a result, Greg Howes has not been able to get it done. He's got a goal, yes, 7 shots, but Anoni Martinez, with his 4 goals and 1 assist on 8 shots, has been the shining star for the Cleveland Force.
And that restart too quickly, says Kelly Mock, and Milwaukee will do it again. There's Anoni Martinez. Leads all scorers tonight with 5 points. Howes on target. Larkin got a piece, so did Rivas, who winds up with it again and got it through to the neutral zone. Eller. Thomas breaks it up with a good slide tackle. Now Fontana. Matt Schmidt. Aristodemo hustling back to block. Fontana keeps it alive. Larkin falls on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cleveland right now are playing like defensive demons. And that's not really supposed to be their game. But they are on life support. If they don't win this game, it's all over.
Warburg with the grab. 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 9-7 Cleveland. Here's Howes. And Martinez blocks that entry.
Staying so close to Greg Howes. He hasn't been able to launch that big right-footed rocket of his. I mean, Cleveland's done a superb job of denying Greg Howes time and space. But remember, one of the keys is deny the ball from Todd Dusowski. If he doesn't get it, Howes is only half as effective, and they've done both.
And they're looking for him here.
There's Dusowski with it.
Against Gilbert. Now Ricardinho. Milwaukee again forced to reset. And coming on late, Chris Moorman. Little miscommunication as to who was supposed to be on.
No kidding.
Ricardinho, Dusowski, kick save Larkin. Dombrowski. John Ball. Can't get it out. Now Todd Dusowski. And down goes Ricardinho. And a foul is called.
That's a push.
Against Cleveland's Gary DePalma. His first. And now we've got a Cleveland player down in the penalty area. That's Neil Gilbert, who's been working hard on defense against Todd Dusowski for most of the match. And he's holding his left knee. So 9-7 Cleveland with 8:56 to play in regulation. And tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, the NBA's Western Conference Finals get underway as League MVP Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns play host to Tim Duncan and the Spurs. Phoenix advanced to the Western Finals with their thrilling overtime win against Dallas last night. Spurs also only needed 6 games. All the action comes your way starting tomorrow, 3 p.m. on ABC Sports, home of the NBA Finals. We'll take a break here in St. Louis. 8:57 remains in regulation. Cleveland leading Milwaukee 9-7.
Are you meeting up with Jenny?
Let me check. Hey, Jenny. It's me.
Hold on, there's somebody on my other line. Hello?
Looks like it's time to sign up for the new Family Share Plan from Verizon Wireless. Get up to 3 lines for only $9.99 each after signing up for the first 2 lines for $59.99. Now with 25% more anytime minutes.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
On May 25th, ESPN Deportes will be in Istanbul for live coverage of the UEFA Champions League final when AC Milan takes on Liverpool. Extensive coverage before, during, and after the most important club soccer game in the world. And tonight, tune into ESPN2 at 10 p.m. for a special preview of all ESPN Deportes has to offer. To get ESPN Deportes, call 1-800-DEPORTES.
ESPN Deportes, solo deportes, solo en español.
And that's what the two teams are playing for tonight. The 2005 MISL Championship Trophy. It will be awarded. If Milwaukee comes back, they'll sweep the series and take it home in 2. If Cleveland holds on, we'll play a sudden death golden goal overtime to determine the champion immediately following this one right here on ESPN2. Now Michael King trying to get it ahead to Palma. Breaks it up to Moorman. Here's Howes. Through a double. Now Johnson. able to seal him off.
Look at, they're tripling him, and they got him too.
Ball was able to clear to Neto. Up top to Saski. Out top of Ka. House. Ka on target. Larkin with 2 hands for the save. Chris Moorman gets it into Saski in game 2 of the MISL championship. Milwaukee and Cleveland, along with Bill Clement and Holly Rowe. I'm Al Pulowski. Thanks for joining us tonight for another thriller in the MISL Championship Series. Nearing the midway point of the 4th quarter, Cleveland trying to hold on to a 2-goal lead and force a sudden death golden goal overtime game for the championship.
Kind of a mini game. 2-game championship full games. And if they split, we are treated to a golden goal overtime for the championship. And boy, I'll tell you what, we're 7 minutes and 24 seconds away from it.
Be a fitting way for this series to end. Milwaukee, the winner in game 1 last week, 10-9 in overtime. These teams played 3 overtime matches in the regular season. So why not another?
This is easily the longest Milwaukee has gone in the 2 games, last Saturday's and this game, without scoring a goal.
Their last goal came at the 1:17 mark into the 3rd quarter.
How often does Milwaukee go almost a half without scoring? Not very often. But Cleveland's done just a masterful job. And the biggest problem is the guy in the orange shirt from Milwaukee, Jim Larkin, who has simply put up the force field behind him now.
Now his outlet will be taken by Revillo. And blocked by Martinez. Now Revillo. Torres goes down. Sutton takes the ball to Hansor. Cleveland trying to counter. Hansor with the Ka making a great slide tackle.
It's a 3-on-2 that he just negated.
Now Torres 1-on-3. Martinez tackles it from him. Selenopoulos clears. And Milwaukee will reset at midfield with Joe Hamas. Herrera poked away by Selenopoulos, but it came within the flow of play, so Larkin is able to use his hands, even though it came off the feet of Selenopoulos. And a good outlet, Eller, with a chance, and a good save by Nick Barber. Now Aristodemo. Timbers. And Martinez to reset. In trouble, lost the ball. Everton Morera wants a counter, but the force back with 4 men. Now Joe Hamas. 5.5 to play in regulation. Milwaukee trailing Cleveland by 2. Moorman. For Todd Saski. House. Against Eller. Blocked by Eller. Susi clears. Well, Eller might not be the man that you want marking House, but he did the job there. Timbers the knockaway. House just trying to get it in, and Timbers steals. Aristodemo. Moorman keeps it in. Now Eller. And a clear.
A lot of play in Cleveland's end, though.
Milwaukee has possessed for the last couple of minutes. Todd Saski double. And now Martinez clears it away. Once again, Chris Moorman will collect in midfield, and Milwaukee will set up their offense. Now Ricardinho. Oliviero on Johnson. And a hold called against Matt Johnson. That's his second. Chris Moorman will trigger the restart. 4:16 to go in regulation. Forced by 2 over the wave. As Moorman sends a rocket wide. Todd Saski tried to center. Ball clears, but over 3 lines. So a 3-line violation whistled against the force. And now Cleveland head coach Omid Damazi.
Omid, you guys obviously got them where you want them. Can you hear us, Omid?
Yes, I can.
I mean, is there any concern about playing so much in your end?
No, we just got to make sure we're disciplined. We don't We don't take the shortcuts here. Stay behind the ball, force him back, force him on the perimeter.
All right, we'll see if you can do it. Thank you.
And another perimeter shot by Chad Dombrowski. That's blocked by a sliding Aaron Susi. And cleared away by Martinez. Nick Forberg at the yellow line, ahead now to Ricardinho. Oliviero. Todd Dososki wants to turn. Oliviero redirected, score! Header by Ricardinho, and the Wave are within one.
Yeah, baby. Oh, he carded him too. He got a card for lifting his jersey up after the goal. He got a yellow card, Ricardinho did, for showing off his shirt of Brazil. Jim Larkin, then again, Jim Larkin went down a little too early, couldn't get back up, and a beautiful header goal.
And now he's done for the rest of regulation. The yellow card against Ricardinho, that'll cover the 3:45. That means a 5-minute minor. Both teams stay at full strength. But Ricardinho cannot come out of the box for 5 more minutes. And now Tim Tima, I think, might have an additional yellow card. Let's see.
That's a costly display of nationalism right there.
Sure is, because Ricardinho will not be available for Keith Tozer for the rest of regulation. And then the first minute 15, should we go to overtime. A great goal.
Larkin made a heck of a save and went right to the head of Ricardinho. And by the way, every soccer team needs at least one single named player. He is Milwaukee's, Ricardinho.
And now Gary DePalma is going to the bench for 5 minutes as well. Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Guys, some of the confusion right now, the Milwaukee coaching staff is yelling at the referee saying, hey, that penalty should only be if the player takes his shirt off. If you read the Major League Soccer rules or the MISL rules, it says if he takes the shirt off, he just put the front of his shirt over his head. So their argument is it shouldn't have been a penalty in the first place.
Got to know the rule book. That's interesting.
Yeah. And now Gary DePalma has 5 minutes for misconduct for Cleveland. And Everton Moreira is in the box for Milwaukee. It's Moreira over there now, and I think,
you know what,
Ricardinho came out.
Ricardinho came out and went right to the Milwaukee locker room. He went down the runway to the locker room. I don't know if he's got an equipment problem, a shoe problem, something. Maybe went in there to take his Brazil jersey off. Now he's jogging back. I can see him coming back in the hallway right now.
So, well, yeah, we'll see if Holly Rowe can find out what's happening down there.
All right, if Holly can figure this one out, she's going to get the MISL trophy.
9-8 Cleveland, and what another great game 2 we're shaping up here tonight. Martinez leads all scorers with 5 points. Milwaukee's lost their last 3 finals appearances. They need Greg House to get more than just that 1 goal, you would think.
Yeah, you sure would.
So the Milwaukee Wave hoping not to become just the second team out of the 5 sports between baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and soccer to lose 4 straight championships, as the Buffalo Bills did in the NFL to begin the early 90s. And now a dump out of play by Gilbert, intended for Neto. And the Wave will get the ball back, down by 1, but now with perhaps some momentum with 3:40 to go in regulation. Loveless Saka will send it long as Ball got a head on it, but Angel Revilla will collect. King goes down and drew the foul against Rene Rivas. That is his 3rd. Again, if a player picks up 4 minor fouls, he'll be sent to the box for a 2-minute penalty. Rivas with 3 has to be extra careful here. 3:30 to go in game 2, and Cleveland holds on. Immediately following this, a sudden death golden goal overtime to decide the champion. If Milwaukee comes back, they win the championship outright.
Rivas is such a good defensive player that Omid Namazi can't afford to take him out even with 3 fouls right now.
Now he just was able to get off the field, but he did stay on initially. Here's House. against Selenopoulos and Hansort. Got it in front. Larkin batted it away. Raffio with the header, which appeared to be on target, but Gilbert got enough to redirect.
Boy, Gilbert scored an own goal with his head the last game. That's one that he got back for his guys.
Now John Ball with 2:50 to play in regulation. 9-8 Cleveland. Johnson long for Hanser over his head. Now Vorberg finds Oliviero.
Remember, this was the situation Milwaukee faced in game 1. Down a goal, late. They had the 6th attacker out there, and they'll undoubtedly do that too if they don't tie it before then.
Martinez trying to run. Double team with Ravillo and Schmidt. Thomas clears. Oliviero collects. Back pass Vorberg. And timeout wave with 2:15 to go in the match. We more than likely will see the 6th attacker come on here for the Wave. As you pointed out, successful with that in game 1. They tied it with just over 20 seconds to go when Michael King knotted it at 9. And then the Wave able to win it in overtime with Johnny Torres scoring the game winner. So the Milwaukee Wave again, we'll see if their 6th attacker will be beneficial. Cleveland Force just trying to hold on to win game 2 and force the sudden death golden goal overtime for the championship trophy.
But without a doubt, the two big stories here tonight in St. Louis for the Cleveland Force, the defender Hanoni Martinez, number 3 for Cleveland, banking them in off of everybody's legs, 3 like that, and then to start the 4th quarter, his 4th goal. Meanwhile, while he was scoring, behind him, Jim Larkin had put up the wall. His best 15-minute stretch in the championship series. And because of the play of Martinez and Jim Larkin, the Cleveland Force are 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from forcing the golden goal overtime. Let's check in with Holly.
Opponent of this team this year. Hanoni Martinez joined the team just 22 games ago. He was traded for Monterrey, but he has been terrific. This team has gone on a tear since their poor start, and they are now 15-6 since he joined the team. You can see why he's been so valuable, not only what he does defensively, but guys, on offense, he has been a phenomenal force tonight for Cleveland.
And now Schmidt in as the 6th attacker as Todd Dusaski sends a shot attempt wide, and Aristodemo clears out of play. That'll give Milwaukee a restart from the top of the arc. And tonight, the Milwaukee Wave are 3 of 13 on restart opportunities. There's Nick Vorberg. He's taking a break and hopes he can come back soon if the Wave would score here.
This is huge right here for Cleveland. Here comes Greg House.
Can he tie it? King blocked on a roll by Gilbert. Now Todd Dusaski against Johnson.
Can't double him yet. They got to turn him first.
Dusaski again. Oliviero in front. Dusaski scored! Todd Dusaski ties the game for Milwaukee with 1:46 to go with the 6th attacker on.
Unbelievable. Todd Dusaski has hardly possessed the ball, but he sure made it count on that one. You just can't get the ball from him. He gave it up, kept the play alive, then had the ball pop out right to him.
So Dusaski from Giuliano Oliviero. Dusaski's first goal of the night. Oliviero's first assist to go with 3 goals. And Oliviero with 4 points to lead the Wave.
Unbelievable play by Oliviero, too. Dusaski sagged back in, out of the play, then hit the hole at full speed to pick up the bank shot off the end boards from Oliviero. Well done.
And now they're going to give Oliviero a 2nd assist on the Ricardinho goal a few moments ago. So Oliviero ties Hanoni Martinez for the game-high 5 points, as Oliviero has 3 goals and 2 assists. And Keith Tozer wants this crowd in St. Louis to back his Wave. The 1:37 to play in regulation, tied at 9. Schmidt clears. Now Gilbert ahead for Soucy. Goes down. Ball kicked out of play, and that'll give Cleveland a restart, but Aaron Soucy down, grabbing the noggin.
Remember, if this game ends tied, we go into overtime to decide this game too. Then if Cleveland can win game 2, we will have the golden goal overtime.
We could see 2 sudden death overtimes tonight. 1 to decide game 2 and 1 to decide the trophy.
And that would fall into the category of here's something that doesn't happen every day. And we've already seen 1 overtime in the series, and it was won by Milwaukee last Saturday night in Milwaukee in front of their hometown crowd. And little Johnny Torres, who'd been quiet the entire game. Right spot, right place, right execution.
So the Milwaukee Waves score another goal late here to tie it at 9. Todd Dusosky from Oliviero at 13:14 of the 4th quarter. Now 1:09 remains in regulation. Game tied at 9, just like in game 1. Of course, Nick Forberg back in goal after Milwaukee has tied the game. John ball for Neto. Aka pokes it away. Martinez for Larkin under pressure. Got it away, and Gilbert got a knee on it, but here comes Johnny Torres for Fontana, knocked away by Aristodemo, who's down, but Neto has the ball against Aka. Neto in the way man. Good save, Forberg low. Now Aristodemo is back up as Todd Dusosky tries to come ahead with 25 seconds to go in regulation, and space. House blocked by Martinez. John ball for Neto, 18 seconds. Neto fell down. Schmidt, Milwaukee has one more chance to win it in game 2. It's House. Double team. Couldn't get through it. Now Sutton. One more chance for Cleveland. 4 seconds. Past the car. Drew the foul and the card. 2 minutes. Tripping on Loveless Aka with 2.8 seconds to go in regulation. Now, will Cleveland get a shootout? We'll see. Either way, the Force will be a man up.
What speed. The midfield from Cleveland, including this man, Antonio Sutton. Huge speed. And Loveless Aka just drifted his leg up a little bit, got it into Sutton, and Aka didn't even argue it. He just walked over to the bench.
So no shootout. Just 2.8 seconds to go in regulation, but the penalty would carry over into overtime. So a big penalty called against Aka.
That is huge. Unbelievable. Cleveland, I mean, they got 2.8. Unless a miracle happens here, they're going to start OT on the power play.
And Cleveland 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. Martinez for the bomb. Now he's going to call time and come up with the play. So Omi Damazi to talk it over. Officially 2.5 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Game is tied at 9. Cleveland was up 9-7 with just 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And then a couple of Milwaukee goals by Ricardinho and Dusosky have brought the Wave back to tie it up. And it sets the stage here for Cleveland with one last chance in regulation. And then there'll be a man up when overtime is started if Cleveland doesn't score in these last few moments.
You got to know that Milwaukee, these guys in white, are feeling real good about themselves. Maybe I should say were feeling real good about themselves until Loveless Aka tracked his way over to the sin bin with that penalty. Because Milwaukee had gathered the momentum back from Cleveland. Remember, they overcame that 2-goal deficit to be tied at 9 here. And it was all Cleveland in the second half, Al.
It sure was. Let's go down to Holly on the bench.
Guys, right now the Cleveland Force very frustrated. That last foul by Loveless Aka on Antonio Sutton, they're saying it should have been a shootout because he was the last man to the goal. But what the officials are saying is that there was another man between Sutton and the goal from the Cleveland Force, so they are not going to give them the shootout.
So let's see on the replay.
Well, you know what, they got
Greg
a point.
House.
Greg House was, if you draw a line across the field, was a little closer to the goal. All right, here we go. 2.5.
Can Cleveland win it in regulation? Susi, no chance. Pat White defended. And now we'll go to overtime for game 2. So at least one overtime is coming up. Cleveland and Milwaukee, overtime in game 1. The final was 10-9. That will be the final score in game 2, but who will get the 10th goal?
Well, Cleveland will have a huge opportunity to put this game away with the power play that they're going to start overtime with. Great advantage for Cleveland.
So the Milwaukee Wave and the Cleveland Force, for the 5th time this season, will go to overtime. It's been another classic match here tonight. Game 2 of the MISL Finals will be decided with a golden goal sudden death overtime. That's next. Stay here.
If you're a disgusting, damaging, or destructive bug, watch carefully. 'Cause this is the last thing you're ever gonna see. Presenting Ortho Bug Begone Max, the best lawn bug killer ever made. So strong, it kills bugs 3 times longer than the leading competitor. Not just 1 month, but 3 full months guaranteed. Bug Begone Max. Lights out for lawn bugs.
Want to get rid of the wires? Get a wireless laptop with technology designed for lightweight. Make sure it has Intel Centrino mobile technology built in.
The most advanced assembly plant in America is now open. A $1.1 billion investment designed to deliver the next generation of Hyundais and thousands of new jobs. It's here that everything we know about quality and reliability will find its way into every car we build, beginning with the totally new 2006 Sonata. A Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Let's go down to Holly Rowe. She has Greg House.
All right, Greg, what are you thinking here in this overtime period?
Well, right now we just got to kill off this last one. It's in a minute and something and change for this power play. Then hopefully with a little bit of a rest, we can get them a little bit tired. And either these things happen quickly or they go a long time. So the most important thing right now is our man down. So we got to move our feet and block some shots, and hopefully Nick comes up with some big saves. But to start overtime with a man down is what we wanted to do. But hey, we're gonna kill this and we're gonna get one. So we'll
all right.
See.
Good luck. Go out there and score a goal. We have good karma on these interviews.
Well, it happened last week in Game 1 after Greg talked to Holly. Will it happen tonight? Here's the situation. This is Game 2, sudden death overtime. If Milwaukee wins, they win the MISL championship. If Cleveland scores the game winner in Game 2, that will force a sudden death golden goal Game 3 for the title. That would happen immediately following this game, and we'll have it all live for you right here on ESPN2. Cleveland on the power play for the next minute 35. Loveless Aka serving 2 minutes for tripping. Robbie Aristodemo for Henoni Martinez. Now for Aristodemo. Susi in front, Neto. Can't pull the trigger. Forberg covers up. A minute 10 to go in the extra man.
See, the ref was counting him down. Forberg's got 5 seconds to get rid of the ball, and he used every one of those to try to kill off the penalty.
They'll play till somebody scores. Is it White? No, he hit the post. Pat White was almost a hero. Now Adato Neto. Martinez with 48 seconds to go in the Cleveland power play. Ball. Grab Forberg.
Looking at the ref, getting the count down. 3, 2, 1. Now the throw.
Now Schmidt down. Drew the foul against Henoni Martinez for the push. The personal fouls are reset in overtime. That's the first foul of overtime against either squad.
Boy, Milwaukee with a sensational job of not only killing the penalty, but generating a chance here. Pat White with an opportunity to be a hero. Jim Larkin well out cutting down the angle. But now they're only 32 seconds. That Mount Everest is now just about down to a mogul for Milwaukee on this penalty kill.
And Greg House comes on to try and win it shorthanded. They tried to center for Schmidt. Martinez sealed him off, and now John Ball will take it with Schmidt providing pressure. They'll get it back to Larkin, but that will take more time, and now Cleveland is left with 20 seconds with the power play. Sudden death overtime for Game 2. Next goal wins Game 2. Is it Neto? No. Hamas makes the block. Now Aristodemo. 5 seconds in the Cleveland power play. Martinez blocks.
Ouch.
Mormon
Right in
Making
the
sure
face.
the nose is still there.
Oh, my gracious. Making sure it's not inverted.
Loveless Aka on. Milwaukee penalty killers do the job. Neto attacking against Mormon. In front. Deflected wide. Warburg got a piece. Martinez. That's his off right foot.
That's why they force him to his right. You just saw the results of a right-footed shot by Martinez. But they haven't forced him to his right enough tonight. 4 goals.
So Cleveland got 5 shots on the power play, but unable to convert on any of them. Rivas header alive to ball. Susi. Aka with a good slide tackle. Now Fontana. He has no help. Now King comes on off the bench. But Fontana will get a reset. Nearly 3 minutes into overtime of game 2. Milwaukee wins overtime here. They win the title. If Cleveland wins, it would even the series at 1. And immediately we would have the sudden death golden goal overtime. Howes tried to draw the foul to no avail.
And that is Neil Gilbert that was playing at number 5 for the Force. When he has been out there against Greg Howes, he has done a superb job.
Howes again. Johnson marking. Double now with the Aristodemo. Triple with Eller. Johnson finally able to get the ball, but now he just has to get it to Martinez, who can't clear. Slide by Johnson, kept it away from Revilla.
Big effort by Matt Johnson.
Now Aristodemo slides to keep it alive for Hansor. Against Dombrowski, foul on Chris Hansor for the push. His first foul of overtime. And now Dombrowski down in the boards. And he'll need some help from trainer Larry Sales. Here it is.
Boy, he might have hit his face on the boards. You know that? The top edge of it.
Yeah, Chris Hansor and Chad Dombrowski going after it hard.
And I can tell you for a fact, those boards don't have much give in them when you hit them with your face. Star players tonight, the star for Cleveland, this man, Hanoni Martinez. Greg Howes, the star of game 1, has 1 goal on 8 shots, but Martinez for Cleveland has 4 goals and an assist on 10 shots. And he has been able to set up his gigantic left foot far more than Milwaukee would have liked in this game, too.
Now Dombrowski up and able to walk to the bench under his own power. And this is what you start playing for in October when training camp begins. It's a moment like this. Milwaukee trying to end it all right here with an overtime game winner. However, if Cleveland gets the game winner, we'll play basically another overtime. That'll decide the championship.
What is so interesting is that you could put in a different lineup. Both of these teams now have players in the runways warming up, getting ready for the golden goal overtime should Cleveland win this overtime segment.
And Eller digging it out for the Force. Ahead for Hansor against Aka, trying to get around him. Wants obstruction. Got it. Obstruction against Loveless Aka, his first minor foul of the overtime. And Cleveland with the restart tonight. They're 3 of 11 on restart opportunities.
Loveless Aka is feeling like a victim right now.
Gary DePalma will trigger. And Cleveland will call timeout with 10:56 to go in the first overtime, though it really doesn't matter. We'll play until somebody scores. And once again, Omi Namazi will see if he can come up with the play on the restart. Wednesday afternoon, ESPN2's coverage of UEFA's most prestigious club competition, the UEFA Champions League, concludes with the final match, AC Milan and Liverpool FC. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN2 Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern. For more information, visit our website, ESPN.com.
Greg Howes still looking to get on track. He has scored 1 goal, but he has been quiet. MISL leading goal scorer, leading assist gainer, leading point getter, and the MVP of the league. And Cleveland has done a masterful job of keeping both Greg Howes and Todd Dusowski kind of quiet. Remember, Dusowski scored the big goal that tied it up. Greg Howes has scored 1, but by their standards, that's not much damage.
Both teams given 2 timeouts in overtime. Cleveland spent their first there. They have 1 left. Sudden death overtime for game 2. And Noni Martinez will trigger. Susi. De Palma open. Hit it up and out of play. So that was the diagram play. And they found the open player. De Palma just couldn't execute on the shot.
Just a little bit outside.
Another classic shaping up in game 2 of the MISL Championship Series here tonight after Milwaukee won game 1 last Saturday 10-9. We're live here on ESPN2 and we'll be with you until an MISL champion is decided. Neil Gilbert to clear. Sutton with the head on it. Aka to bring it down. Todd Dososki. He's forced the overtime when he tied it at 9. Centering pass wide, but look at Fontana hustle to win it in the boards. Gilbert, though, knocks it away. Kept in by Mormon, grabbed by Jim Larkin. MISL Championship Series Game 2 in overtime. Milwaukee wins, they win the title. If Cleveland wins, a golden goal. Game 3 sudden death overtime will be played immediately after this. Thomas way up and out of play from long range. So nearly 5 minutes of sudden death overtime for game 2 played here tonight.
But this is where Keith Tozer's Milwaukee Wave really pride themselves on their conditioning. So much so that anytime any player mentions their team, they talk about their superior conditioning. If you believe you're in better shape, you will be in better shape. We'll see if it's a factor.
Oliviero had a hat trick earlier tonight, but couldn't hold on. Now Rene Rivas, who got his fouls reset from 3-0 in the overtime. Got it ahead for Neto. A slide by Dombrowski knocked it away. And out of play. Kelly Mock says, let's go Cleveland's way. Tim Temas says, nope, was deflected. Let's go the Wave's way. And the Wave wanted a quick restart, but Tim Temas says that's not going to happen. And Michael King lurking down there around Jim Larkin. You know he wants this game winner in the worst way.
Well, the Milwaukee Wave are 1 shot away from getting the monkey on their back. That monkey in the form of 3 failed attempts in the last 3 years to win a championship. They got to the championship series, but weren't able to put it away. 1 good shot here, and this one's theirs.
And they have 2 chances to do it, either here or if Cleveland scores, they would have another overtime. Schmidt at Larkin, made the save. Schmidt again. Larkin out. Loose. Larkin falls on it. Now John Ball. Got around 2 defenders. Wanted hands or Aka breaks it up. Aristodemo wins it back to Johnson. Next goal wins game 2. Martinez for Ball. Aka heads it away. Oliviero pops the clear to midfield. And King was able to get it back to Oliviero. And he goes down in a foul call on John Ball, his first of the overtime period.
One of the stories of the second half, and now in overtime, Jim Larkin, the keeper for the Cleveland Force, on his back, kicking, scratching, biting, pinching, and making the save.
Ricardinho clears it away, and it bounces into the Wave bench. Cleveland a kick in. Neil Gilbert. For Chris Hansor. Against Thomas. Thomas poked it away, but now Martinez. 4 goals tonight. In front. Vorberg couldn't collect, but Mormon able to get it out of trouble.
Great backdoor coverage by Chris Mormon.
Gilbert centers. Vorberg grabs it, and down goes Thomas. Chris Hansor shoved him. That'll be the second foul against Chris Hansor. He's the first player to pick up multiple fouls in the overtime. Yeah, pretty obvious there.
I'd say that qualifies.
Nick Vorberg for Todd Dososki. He's got Torres running. He won game 1. Can he win game 2? No, says Alan Eller. Not yet. And a clear away. Now Vorberg for Mormon. 7 minutes into overtime. Dososki. Oh, back hitter might have been the game winner with Larkin on him. Instead, he tried to back pass it, and now Susi can get it to Eller for Cleveland. Up ahead to Palma with space. Just wide.
Oh, man.
Gary DePalma almost wins game 2. Now Torres to try and clear. Down he goes. Rivas guilty of the push. And Rivas picks up his first foul of overtime.
This is it for Omid Namazi and the Cleveland Force if they cannot score here in sudden death overtime. Milwaukee will get a second life if Cleveland scores because they won game 1. And Cleveland will win game 2 if they can score here in sudden death, and we'll go right to another overtime period.
On how important was game 1? Some people said not very tonight. Guarantee you Keith Tozer is thrilled to have that. Rubio, Larkin saves the season for Cleveland there. Now Eller against Moorman, and Moorman neatly taps it back to Borberg.
Boy, Chris Moorman's made a handful of dynamic defensive plays for Milwaukee here in overtime.
House, Larkin, one-handed save, header timbers, and Larkin grabs and throws for Sutton. Sutton got past Fontana. Through House. And then he tried the back heel for Timbers. Akar reads and finds King instead for the wave. Stolen by DePalma. Now down is DePalma. Foul on Fontana is first. And how close was Gary DePalma to winning it for Cleveland? That close. Yes, yes, no.
Bodies on the bench. Bodies on the benches are twitching and convulsing with every play.
Martinez ahead for Selenopolis. Shot it wide. King wins the ball. Both teams seem to be looking for that one counterattack to get the game winner in overtime. Now Aristodemo. Over 9 minutes played in sudden death overtime for game 2. Cleveland trying to force a golden goal game 3. Milwaukee trying to win it outright. Next goal will tell you. We're live on ESPN2 with all the action.
Really got to be careful about your changes here, obviously. You're going to be tired. It's the end of a game. You're in overtime. If you get caught out there, you could cost your team. Here's a chance.
Ricardinho tries to juggle it. Cleared by Aristodemo, but out of play. Restart coming up for Milwaukee, top of the arc. Now, if we play the next 5:29 left in the first overtime and nobody scores, we'll play another overtime for game 2 until somebody scores to win.
It ain't going to take that long. Here's a big chance right now.
Milwaukee 3 of 15 on restarts tonight with Greg Howes, the league's MVP, behind the ball. Kings to the right. Now Milwaukee wants time. So Keith Tozer will try and come up with a championship-winning play here for the Milwaukee Wave. With 5:29 to go in the first overtime of game 2. Jim Larkin has made some good saves tonight here in overtime.
He should be extremely proud of his effort, considering that in the second quarter he gave Milwaukee a goal, and he has bounced back unbelievably.
Well, next Saturday afternoon, ESPN's coverage of USA Soccer kicks off as Landon Donovan and the U.S. national team host England in an international friendly at Soldier Field. USA Soccer on ESPN Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. So the Milwaukee Wave with Keith Tozer giving it a fist, saying let's get one in the championship. To Holly Rowe.
Hey guys, look for the double pass to Todd Dusowski on the corner. They're going for number 17. You see him down deep in the post right now. They'll try a double pass to the left to find number 17.
Well, he's on that left post now. Will probably scoop to the corner. House in the left boards. There it is to House. Dusowski in front. No. House. Hand save Larkin. Again, wide. King, just wide. House again, out of play. What a shot by Greg Howes moments ago. Jim Larkin stuck the hands up and said, not yet. 5:10 to go in the first overtime of game 2. Milwaukee wins, they win the title. If Cleveland wins, it'll be another overtime to decide the championship, as the series would be evened at 1. Susi. Martinez. Susi trying to hold position, cannot. Todd Dusoski can't clear. Now he got it to Rubio for Torres. Schmidt blocked. Gilbert. Rubio bicycle. Oh, he just missed. Angel Rubio almost with a magical game winner. Now a foul on John Ball.
Finally, Loveless Aka had one go his way. What a play by Rubio, though, with the bicycle in front. Oh.
And Torres just missed a game winner. Here's King. Torres again. Now Aka. What a match here tonight in St. Louis. Milwaukee and Cleveland trying to figure out who the 2005 MISL champion will be. Now ball down in midfield. Foul on Fontana. His second of the overtime. Josh Timbers. Susi. Martinez. And a reset back to Larkin. 3:48 to go in the first overtime of game 2. Next goal wins game 2. Again, if it's Milwaukee, that would be for the championship. John Ball. Neto. Ball. Rivas. Wide. This way. Rivas to keep it in Neto. Timbers overlap. Loose. Neto got a toe on it. Stays in. John Ball will bring it down for Cleveland with the reset back to Larkin.
That play back to Larkin just so they can get fresh troops out there.
Milwaukee with some new players as well, but not Todd Dusoski, you can see. Looks to be a little bit winded. Now Neto deep. Eller with the header. Johnson for Neto. Trying to dribble through 3 Wade players.
Oh, unbelievable. He could play in a phone booth and still be good. He almost sprung that loose.
Rivas for Eller. White a knockaway. Oliviero just trying to get it out. Can't. De Palma wins it for the Force. Martinez. Working on Todd Dusoski. Just wide. Eller in front. De Palma for Johnson. Blocked by Ricardinho. Now Todd Dusoski, who's been out there a long time, can't clear.
Yeah, had no gas for the counterattack. Dusoski wants to get off here, and here comes Cleveland on their own counter.
Martinez again. Blocked Dusoski.
Todd Dusoski just gives him an not getting through me.
So Todd Dusoski digging for a little bit extra here in overtime of game 2 of the MISL finals. Hanser. Sutton. Selenopoulos wanted Hanzor, but behind him, Dusoski clears. And he still can't get off. Martinez will work on Dusoski again. And that time, both players a little bit tired. Hanzor. Double teamed. Torres and Aka. Can't get it from Hanzor.
There is 1 minute to play in the quarter.
Now Martinez all the way back to Larkin. 55 seconds to go in the first overtime of game 2. If nobody scores, we'll keep going. Gilbert. Hanser. Reveal. trying to get it out of trouble. Does. .30 seconds to play in the first overtime of game 2. Jim Larkin. So taken away by Akan. Now Fontana. House. Just missed.
Did Larkin get a piece of that?
Apparently so, because Milwaukee will get a corner kick. But Greg House, almost a game winner here.
Oh, good block by Antonio Sutton.
10 seconds left. The first overtime. Sutton trying to win the ball against King. Michael King brings it down. Now Mormon, 5 seconds. Oliviero won't have enough time. Went in, that will not count. The horn did sound. 1 overtime in the books. 75 minutes of soccer, and game 2 has still not been decided.
Some unbelievably disciplined defensive play by both of these teams, and that's the only reason we went that long without a goal, and the only reason we're going to a second OT.
So we'll take a break and come back with overtime number 2 to decide game 2. Come on back. 9-all.
Take this steak and top it with mushrooms, shrimp, or cheese. There's no hesitating, a hot steak is waiting. So take this steak and top it tonight at Applebee's.
You don't have to hunt for the best deals on the internet. Just follow that little arrow to Motel6.com. Bullseye. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
When furniture factories need help, who do they call? Furniture Liquidators of America. One of the nation's leading bedroom manufacturers must sell their entire inventory of this 5-piece bedroom immediately. While they last, pay just $3.99 for the entire bedroom. That's $399 for all 5 pieces. Plus, now through Memorial Day, pay no interest for 12 full months. Hurry to Furniture Liquidators of America, where we save you money.
I know, Mom. It's like my dream job, and it has like so much responsibility. Yeah, there's more money. Well, of course I'll save some, and you'll never guess what I just found at buyersauto.com. It's the perfect car for me, a red convertible. Remember your first promotion? What did you buy for yourself? Thanks. Hey, I'll come over this weekend and give you a ride in my new car. Okay, bye.
Get the car you want 24/7. buyersauto.com.
All set to begin the second overtime of game 2. If Cleveland wins, it'll force a golden goal. Game 3 to decide the championship. If Milwaukee wins, they win it outright right here. And Howes with 2 good chances. The first overtime wasn't without opportunities.
No, that was a huge left from Howes. Not quite as strong as his right, but then he teed off with the right foot, and Jim Larkin was able to get a hand on it. One of the prettiest scoring attempts came from Angel Revillo. Bicycle baby. And he didn't miss by much.
And visions of former Milwaukee Wave forward Brian Lofton, who scored a bicycle kick in the 2000 championship series. Here's Holly Rowe.
Sir, Keith Tozer of Milwaukee just told his players in the huddle, I have one question for you. Are you the fittest team in the league? He's trying to get into the minds of his players that they are the fittest, so they'll believe it. Just like you said, Bill, he wants them to have some confidence here in this second overtime period.
He constantly preaches it. We'll see if they've got it.
As we begin the 76th minute of indoor soccer for game 2 of the MISL finals. And John Ball using a hand to break up a pass. And that is his 3rd foul of overtime. First player to pick up 3 now again. Check that. Second overtime, they reset once again. So first foul of the second overtime. Gosowski in front. Gilbert able to clear. House out of play. 32 seconds into the second overtime. Cleveland played a double overtime game against the Philadelphia Kicks. Back in January, the Kicks won that game on an Edgar Bartolomeo game winner. This is Milwaukee's first double overtime game of the season. Now Neto. Martinez. Mormon able to knock it away. Now Johnson. Selenopoulos broken up by Oliviero. Live here on ESPN2. Game 2, sudden death overtime in the MISL Finals. If Milwaukee wins this overtime, they win the championship. If Cleveland wins this and then would win Game 2, that would force a golden goal Game 3 to decide the champion. We'll have it all for you here until a champion is decided here tonight on ESPN2. Out of play, off the wave. Cleveland kick in. Now into the 77th minute of indoor soccer. Maybe nobody told these guys they're expecting to play 90 like MLS does. Aristodemo to Eller. Juggles it for himself. Fontana to clear.
We've also just passed the eternity mark in MISL soccer for time played without a goal scored. We're past eternity.
Last one came at 13:14 of the fourth quarter. Todd Dosowski from Giuliano Oliviero to tie this one up at 9. So almost 18 minutes have elapsed after these two teams combined for 18 goals in regulation. Now Torres appeared to use his hand. Yes, he did.
Sure did.
That'll be the first foul on Torres of the second overtime. Jim Larkin for Hansor. Nick Forber can collect that. Greg House. Martinez knocked it off. House with a chance. Back heel. Oh, a beautiful back heel, but Gary DePalma, the man on the spot. If he wasn't there, Todd Dosowski had a layup. Now DePalma. Look at him go. He'll try to win it. Just wide. Susi to reset.
If anybody's sitting at home saying, wait a minute, wasn't that DePalma the guy that was down at the one end and then at the other end, same guy. That's how fast he is.
Even this, the second overtime of Game 2. Milwaukee won Game 1 last Saturday. They lead the series 1-0. Now Susi. Sutton. Kicked out. Still loose. Michael King to sweep it away. Timbers. Sutton. Susi. Blocked on a play by the Wave. Susi with this off foot, but a good chance. And a great header to block it by Ricardinho. And he's still down.
That was full force off the head.
So Ricardinho will need the attention of Larry Sales as Cleveland with some opportunities.
Great ball
Can't find the net.
Great ball movement there. And a good play by Antonio Sutton to drift one off the end boards. Nobody picked up Susi. I guess it could have been worse because that was Susi's right. His left is a strong one. Greg Howes at the other end just before that. This try. Wow. Little Cruyff there. Cruyff pass back right into the box.
Well, even though we have not seen a game or a goal yet here in overtime, again, hasn't been that there haven't been some great plays. Just missing. Good defensive plays. Next goal wins Game 2 of the championship series. Milwaukee can take the title home with the game winner. Cleveland hopes to force a golden goal. Game 3, which would be a sudden death overtime just like this. But that, should it happen, would be to decide the title. Milwaukee doesn't want it to go that far. John Ball to trigger the Cleveland corner kick. Aristodemo blocked. Howes and Martinez. Howes knocked it ahead, but Larkin will have the opportunity and get it to Aristodemo. Now Neto. Martinez. Off the post. You cannot get any closer. Gary DePalma trying to keep it in. Milwaukee counters. Fontana. He's got Oliviero. Can't get it to him. Goes down. And a foul on Matt Johnson.
Boy, you talk about getting it in the wheelhouse. It was across his body, but it was a slow roller that Martinez was able to launch off the post, off the inside of the post at that. That would have been Martinez's 5th goal.
And now did he possibly pull a hamstring on that last shot, because he's down, and here comes Aaron Galbraith, the Cleveland trainer, to check on Hinoni Martinez, who was trying to work off that left leg.
But you know the players are going to try to be, if not stalling, then at least trying to buy a rest when they can. Hinoni Martinez has played a ton of soccer here.
And now he has to come off because the trainer was summoned. So back in the neutral zone, Greg Howes will trigger. It's the Wave trying to end it all here in the second overtime of game 2. On target. Forced Larkin to go up high to save it. Howes still trying. Neto now. Ravillo. Neto. Couldn't get it out. Howes. Just wide. Howes again. For Dusoski.
How about that volley by Dusoski?
Trying to win it anyway these players can. Now to Palma. And Ravillo with the steal. For King. Ravillo. 3-on-3 Wave. Johnny Torres. Mormon. Gilbert able to break it up. Aka. Now Mormon to reset. 4.5 minutes into the second overtime of game 2. Pat White. Michael King against Matt Johnson. King got it back, just missed.
All this possession, Cleveland hasn't been able to get a change to get fresh troops out there. They may now. Yep, some people have got to head to the bench.
Gilbert for Eller, who just wants to hold it. As Cleveland gets 2 new players on. One of those is Josh Timbers. The other, Selenopoulos with it. Now Gilbert able to get off as well. Hansor. Fell down, and Pat White finds Torres. Against Timbers. Timbers knocks it away. Larkin in trouble. Just got it to Timbers and drew the foul against Pat White. And those 2 with words.
Watch out, the Redheads are about to get into it. Pat White, Josh Timbers. Jim Larkin had a couple of words for White.
Those 2 were teammates for Wave United in A-League last year, but definitely not teammates here tonight, that's for sure. Al Forberg. Over 80 minutes of indoor soccer played here in game 2. Todd Dusoski. Larkin able to get just enough. Now Dusoski's down. Here's Fontana. Blocked by Aristodemo. He's down. Fontana through, intended for Oliviero. Now we've got a whistle. And an injury timeout again as Robbie Aristodemo made a key block. And paid for it as he's holding his right ankle. Boy, these players here tonight put out such an effort. Sometimes the injuries will come.
Here was Dusoski's effort that Jim Larkin actually had to make a save on. Dusoski went down holding his knee. But when Fontana came up with the ball, Dusoski got right back up.
So then Aristodemo, you saw in that block, almost looked like he caught his foot on the turf.
You got to know these guys, obviously wonderfully conditioned athletes to be playing at this pace, at this tempo, after this much soccer tonight. And you know, if they got any chance to take a break and maybe get a breather, they're going to take it.
Jim Larkin now will look for an outlet downfield. That'll be to Palma. Ravillo knocks it away.